Welcome to Good Earners Reviewing the Sopranos. And here on Good Earners Reviewing the Sopranos, we talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. Spike, Rich, how y'all doing, bro?
Well, brothers, doing well, man. How y'all feeling?
Cannot complain, man. Glad to be here this morning with you, brothers.
Yeah, man,
Glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here, and I'm good, man. Y'all know what I'm interested in? If I'd be honest with y'all, I'm really interested in men's fashion, but not the Spike Lou. Can you tell us what episode we reviewed this week?
I tell you, do y'all wait before I do that? Have y'all heard the good news?
Yeah,
I meant to start it like you reminded me when you did that.
Oh man,
Y'all heard the good news?
We heard the good news, man. That it's another episode. He is risen. This podcast has risen again to the occasion. Absolutely.
And it's crazy because it released on Easter Sunday.
This episode did.
Yep.
It's fitting.
Oh wow! I thought this was Thanksgiving. Wow. Okay.
No, it's a Thanksgiving themed episode, but in real time, when it premiered on an Easter Sunday.
That's funny.
Wow.
So check it out. This is season 3, episode 8, titled "He Is Risen." As we said, it's the Thanksgiving episode. Things start to heat up in a couple of scenarios. Tony and Ralphie are still at odds. Meadow and Jackie Jr. may be building something, and Tony stumbles into a new friend at his therapy session. Due to complications, big shifts are being made in the April crew, and we'll see how that clears up. This is season 3, episode 8. He is risen.
Yes, sir. And we go to this live college party. This party always looked live to me. I don't know, maybe it's the color, the neon. It just looked like a fire little college party. But we see Meadow, we see Caitlin. Caitlin's turned up. She's on X, and she's having a good time. She's all extra emotional and then into the high of it, and she's talking to Meadow, and she's like, "Where you get it from? Your friend over there?" And we find out Jackie Jr. is on campus. I got a few questions right away. What was this play that Jackie Jr. was doing? Was this a Meadow play or was this like a racket play for him?
Nah, he open selling X. Meadow just happened to be around. And like we know he moved. I think Ralphie said something last episode, I believe. Or was it
this episode?
Yeah. He I think it's pretty. It's supposed to tell us that he's pretty moving a nice amount of X.
Okay.
Yeah, that was definitely him just being up there. Because if he went up there for Meadow, he would have hit her up. Right. You know how it is when you about to. I'm trying to come see you. I'm about to pull up to your campus. You make that play before you even get there. Even if you meet them at the party, you letting them know I'm gonna be here. He was just on some like shit. Meadow just happened to be at this party.
He was just getting the pack off.
Getting the pack off.
Straight up.
He ain't got that kind of game, and I'm gonna talk about his game a little later.
Oh, his game is awful, man.
Man, he needs something. Where's Noah?
Noah.
Noah. Hey, I hate to say this. I really hate to say this,
bro.
But from a strategist standpoint,
oh boy,
tip my hat to Noah.
Dog. I can't wait till we get. I'll wait till we get to that car scene because when he brings it up, it was like, yep.
And not just this time. Man. We'll talk about it.
Noah, he was the one that got away. But this I looked at it as this is already a way to disqualify in a way for Jackie Jr. on his road to kind of get the mob attention, because you know how they frown upon selling drugs, even though we know, but it's not that far off because his uncle Richie was trying to do that. And I mean, we know that connection with Junior and Big P at one point selling H. So it's like, this is already like one of them things they frown upon. So it's like him trying to somehow find his way to get somebody's attention in the mob. He's going about it completely the wrong way. But I guess he's doing college campus tours right now selling X. You know what I mean? Like, because I imagine this is not his first campus he was on. So I don't know how he came up with that play, but
best play. That's the best place to sell it.
That's it.
No, it's the best place to sell
type of drugs.
Yeah, that's the strategy. Like if he in New Jersey, the strategy is we're gonna hit all the New York colleges. I'm gonna sell X at all the frat houses. They're gonna know my name, and I'm gonna pop up every weekend. That was Jackie Jr. play.
Yeah, we're going to Rutgers. We're going to Seton Hall. We're going to Columbia. We're going to New York University. We're going to St. John's. We're going everywhere that we can, and we're gonna set up shop on each of these campuses.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't there a reference in season 2 about Meadow not taking X? when she had that
Yeah,
house
because
party.
at the party when
Right.
they trashed Livia's house.
Okay, so it's just funny.
I could have taken X,
Right, but I didn't. And then
but
like
I
now,
didn't.
and you see how smooth it's like, yeah, the first one's free. Like, yeah, go ahead. Jackie's a wild boy, man.
And I like that you brought that up, Mo, because that also shows that Meadow is
out here.
She's exploring the world now.
Yeah.
We already know she has her own opinions and her own thoughts on everything, but now she went from being like, I'm still in high school, I'm under my parents' roof, this ain't it, but hey, I'm in college now, I can make my own decision. Hell yeah, I'm gonna take this. That's all these neon lights. That's what this house was made for. It's like a rave house.
Low key, yeah. And high key, actually. But it speaks to this coping thing that they're using the drugs for. When we see Caitlyn and like she kind of said something about like she don't feel any of the things that she was feeling before, which we know that tends to be what drugs do for you. It's it makes me just wonder like what happened on that trip when she said she was going somewhere and she was coming back or whatever, and then now she's here and she's doing the drugs or whatever. So it's like it's just one of those unfortunate things where it's like there's nowhere to turn. And so this is the alternative I'm taking is by doing these drugs. So I don't feel anything. So,
well, Caitlyn, I think it's a little bit different just because Jackie even said it in that scene when his boy that was with him, he was Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "You see how she keeps staring at me?" He's like, "It's the top, man. She's from fucking Oklahoma." Like that just goes. Caitlyn just hasn't experienced much of anything in life.
Okay.
All of this is new. So she probably doesn't even know that her taking X was going to help with her depression and all that. It just happened to be by chance. Everything for her to me is a first time experience.
Okay.
She probably seen black people for the first time when she came to New York. You know what I mean? I'm dead serious.
No, yeah, you're right. I think so.
This is a culture shock. So she probably wouldn't know where to find some X. They probably smoke cigarette and drink beers in Oklahoma.
That makes
what I mean? That's their kick.
Yeah.
Sneak into the store and give me some cigarettes or something like that. They don't weed and X, maybe some weed, but Caitlyn ain't smoking no weed.
They call it pot though. It's pot there. They call it pot.
Yeah, man. She's too wound up to be a smoker. So
you're right about that. That's a good observation.
Yeah.
That's a great observation. Go to the next scene. The guys are gambling. Ralphie has a hot hand. Tony rolls in with Paulie. With the clean gray suit, might I ask. Shouts out to Paulie with the new suit, and they see Tony roll in, and Ralphie's not excited about it. Vito knows what time it is. Gigi knows what time it is, and Gigi kind of excuses Ralph's behavior as always. And then Ralph finally goes over there, and they have their interaction. This is obviously off the toes of the episode before the last, University, from Tony hitting a made guy. What did y'all think about this scene? And it feels like a familiar movie we've talked about here, but I'll let y'all get there. Spike, I throw it in your court first. What you think about this scene?
It was good to build attention, show that the tension has still been building around Tony and Ralphie. Shows also the pull that Ralphie has. Like, I don't think it was too many people that could have got away with that. Like, even he did eventually go over there. They continuously show us, how much Ralphie is earning or how vital he is to what they got going on, because they don't completely just shun him. They kind of let him get away with that's Ralphie shit, even in this situation. So I think they did a good job of showing it. They did a good job of showing Tony was still pissed, did a good job of showing Ralphie could give two fucks. To a certain extent, though, he was concerned. I do want to point that out. But yeah, it was a good scene.
What you think, Rich?
Absolutely, man. Mo, at the very, I think, beginning of this season, you made a point of saying how the Sopranos can be broken down into different segments. Season 1, season 2 can be their own thing. I think they do it within the seasons as well. This episode starts a run of episodes that are just incredible from here until the finale, honestly. I think this is the episode because we get the first 2 episodes, which are kind of different, and then we keep kind of playing this roller coaster game where we get some tension like University, and then we'll have something like Second Opinion that has nothing to do about what we just went to. Now we getting back to the shits, and we're gonna stay with the shits from this episode on. Even if there are some little small side avenues, those side avenues are really great television. So I really enjoyed this episode for that, and like you said, Spike, the tension with Ralph and Tony, the way they played it off perfectly. And it says a lot about Gigi in this scene. The fact that Gigi comes over and he's apologizing for Ralph. You know, I know you got to save face as a captain, but you shouldn't be apologizing for Ralph. You should be making sure Ralph's over there. That's your
That's the
job
reason
as
I
a
put you
captain.
in position.
Exactly. There's a conversation that Tony and Gigi have later on. And you know, that we've talked about it all season. Is Gigi the right person for this? But yeah, it does show the balls that Ralph has, man. I don't give a fuck if that's the boss. I done been in his crib. You know, when you are the star, when you are the star, you can do whatever you want to a certain degree. Or you get a lot more grace. I won't say you can do whatever you want. You get a lot more grace and a longer leash to do the bullshit because you're bringing in so much money that, damn, my pockets is going to hurt if something happened to you.
Yeah. It's so interesting because Ralph is getting this off as a soldier. He's a made guy, but he's a soldier. Like he's not even captain. And he's going toe to toe with the boss. You know what I mean? The underboss of this whole Soprano crew, the Jersey crew. He shouldn't even so he's I told you he's more famous or more known, infamous than Gigi. Like he makes more of an impact everywhere he goes than Gigi does, which is ridiculous because it's like, bro, he's under you and you're under me. Like there's no way he should be able to hop over you and have direct access to me. And the way that, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about the childish behavior that Ralph has a little later in the episode, but like the fact that Ralph is the only one that calls him Anthony, he looks at him as an equal. He looks at Johnny Sack as an equal. He don't look at nobody else like that's why he feel he could do that. He's got
Ralph Cifaretto is Nick Young, to make a sports reference.
Okay.
He's Deion Waiters.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Take your mic down a little bit, Ralph. Ralph.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Nah, but okay.
I think he a little bit.
Okay,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say
I say that because of the irrational confidence that he has.
Oh.
Like he really does think. Those players I mentioned in the NBA, they can be on the court with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and they'll still say, I'm the best player on this court. It's just an irrational confidence that they have, and it explains why they are the way they are. Ralph is successful enough, and he should think that. But to your point, Mo, he really thinks that I'm your equal.
Yeah.
I can do this. I can do what you do.
I think it does a good job of showing that there's different levels to this shit. As you said, Mo, from a hierarchy standpoint, yeah, it's Tony, is what's my man Gigi and Ralphie. But when we talking about the streets and you talking about gangsters, it really don't go like that all the time, right? Like it's people out in the field putting in work, and they're gonna have more respect than a boss that's, people have the impression is just sitting up not doing anything, which may be Tony. I think this is a good parallel to Gotti, to John Gotti. If you look at the documentaries, if you look at the documentaries on him or you watch the Gotti film, he was like Ralph. Like he wasn't a boss, he wasn't any of those things. He was just popular as hell. People knew he was about it. He had your boy the Bull,
Sammy the Bull.
Yeah, out there getting it in for him. So even before John Gotti became the boss, he was like in Ralphie's position, but he had that popularity in the same thing, or in the same sense. Excuse me.
I like that pool. Have either one of y'all been in a situation where there was some tension and then you end up in the same room with that person? Like it ain't real. It ain't. I don't know. It ain't real beef, but it's definitely something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Oh, I have. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have.
What do y'all think about Tony Ralph turning down the drink?
It's like this is like the beginning of this episode of we're seeing this childlike behavior from Ralph. And I talk about the reference to him when he was a younger boy, 11th grader, raising this, never having a real childhood. It seems like this is the beginning. It's like another time, Anthony, but him calling him Anthony when nobody calls him Anthony. Even his wife don't call him Anthony. Only person calling him Anthony is Melfi. So it's like the fact that you're calling him Anthony, it's still that you have a different idea of what this is. That's where I can see the connection of Ralph and Richie. That type of moxie, the audacity of both these characters. That's the connection. Anything else is nothing, but that's the connection. They both look at we're both looking at you like you're a little nigga, like you're a little guy. they're not looking at you like your boss. But Richie, of course, it was like you were a little kid, my kid brother and you. Ralph looked at it like, bro, I don't care who you is. I make more money than all y'all. Like, so it's crazy. It's just you got authority over me, but I make more than you. I'm contributing more to the family than you are. But you're my boss. He bitter. I mean,
all Ralph had to do was take that drink, man.
I was gonna say in reference to the drink, and like what you said, Mo, as a child does, they see how far they can push it before it's something for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me see how much I can get away. Let me just tap the stove, see how hot it is. Oh shit, I burnt myself. So yeah, I think that's a good pull about the child shit. But then that's what he's doing. I want to see how far I can get away with this shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little pouty.
And Paulie old school, like nigga, let's go and take care of this now. Ain't nothing really to talk about. I don't care nothing about the money or nothing. Like we can go outside and catch it.
Right.
Right. And I do got a question about, and I do got a question about Paulie's stance, but I'll wait a little further down in the episode. Cause I'm wondering, I'll get there. But yeah, it's just an interesting
What I'll
thing.
say about Paulie's stance is
okay.
Early, it's like Paulie is a real gangster. He come from a real gangster generation. And as tough as we see Tony is or Ralphie, like to a certain extent to Paulie, these niggas is playing gangster. Cause like what he's saying, like, yeah, this shit would have never flew in my day is what he's saying about let's go whack him right now. So that's what I get from that as far as Paulie. But Paulie is like a real deal gangster.
Yeah. You know, watch your mouth. You're talking to the boss. Like, you know, he don't play that, bro. Like you say anything.
Like the rules matter to him.
Yeah, man. That's all Paulie has. This is all Paulie has, bro. No kids, no, you know, he's not close to his siblings. You know, we'll find out.
Paulie Jr.
No, that's his nephew.
Oh yeah, that's right. Y'all telling me that.
So yeah, you know, and then he's, you know, we find out some later information about his origin and how he was brought up. So
story, bro, I cannot wait to
so Paulie, he doesn't have anything but it's this. So it's like, this is all I do. Like he eat, sleep, breathe this. You're only good as your next envelope. That's Paulie. Like that, you know. So, but I'll get a little further there when we get to that point. But man, like what is it? It's a movie reference from, I seen something like this where like they was cool and then a man walked off and they got like heated immediately. It's some black movie, but I cannot think about it. Oh, you know what it was? I think it was Baby Boy. It was something with Snoop Dogg. And I think he was cool at first. And he's like, man, I can't believe this.
Yeah, the scene when the scene when Jody come over to pick up his son.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. He was like, oh, look at them regular stuff. I can't believe this. They came up in here like all out of nowhere. That's how I felt Toady was. Like,
I know Spike hate Baby Boy, man. I love that movie, man, because it's so ignorant. The reason I love it, and we won't spend too much time on this, obviously. The reason I love it is because it's supposed to be a drama, but it's a comedy to me. That movie's a comedy. The how unintentionally funny that movie is incredible.
Okay.
Like the fact that they weren't trying to be that funny is incredible. That's why I love that movie. That shit's so ignorant.
Yeah, no, it is.
Funniest black lines. Well, excuse me, one of the funniest lines in black cinema is when he kicked little dude Fort down.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I cried off it.
I used to quote that shit in high school all the time.
Fuck
bro,
Fort, little nigga.
Like, dude, the most pettiest.
I want my daddy, man. Fuck that. Fuck your daddy.
And then like that was like way in the background when he said it too. That was like, oh man, that was hilarious. Y'all go check out Baby Boy, man. It's a black classic, man. If y'all into black cinema,
God, boy.
Yeah, of course y'all gonna hear black movies from the Moolies. Moolians. But yeah, so we pan over Jackie Jr. and Meadow, and Meadow is pretty much, she's high and crashing and she's pretty much sleepy. I've never done X before. You guys come from that era.
Golly.
Fill in the blank. Provide our listeners compelling content right now.
Sleep ain't one of the things you do on ecstasy.
Okay, thank you.
She must have had a bad pill or something.
Well, she was drinking tequila too, so I don't know if that.
It don't matter. And usually you don't even drink on ecstasy. It's like,
so you think she's faking it?
Orange juice or something. Nah, I'm not saying that. It's just I'm not sure what happened, to be honest with
she
you.
she might be faking it because you think about she
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Because she knew what it was about to be. You know what I mean? Maybe because she was like, I've been hurt before later in the episode, so maybe she knew.
True.
I
Yeah,
don't know because I didn't.
You don't usually have that reaction to ecstasy.
Wow. So what's the normal reaction?
Till the next day.
Oh.
You usually want to be up, talking, and interactive with people.
Yeah, you
like
up for
music.
Like 24, 28,
Facts.
32
Music
hours.
need to be on. Like, you want to be around people. Like, it's a love drug. Like, it's like psychiatrists use it for depression, as Rich was saying earlier, but the ADHD is intended to make you feel your feelings. So like, you be up and you talkative and you very open, and your senses are like on 10 or whatever it may be. People usually want to have sex on ecstasy.
I mean, yeah.
Like I said, I'm not what you like you said with Meadow, it's a good point. She may be faking it.
But did it ever really even exist?
Yeah, she may be. Yeah.
Maybe, you know, did you really? But I will say, like, I mean, obviously, let's get it out the way. We know he got a little peep show. We clearly know if this was 2023, he would have been canceled. Like, let's get that out the way.
He should. Listen, man. Let's just say this for the record. That's fucked up.
Okay, thank you.
Regardless of what year it is, I want to make sure there's no confusion out there for anybody listening.
Yes,
that's fucked up. Regardless if it's 1980, 2001, or 2023. Like,
yes,
Jackie, but that's some Jackie Cree and Jackie, man. This is the beginning when I started to realize Jackie was a loser.
Oh yes. This is it. You're right.
Didn't see coming.
You're right.
Because if Jackie just had a little bit of Noah in him, then that would just be something that could naturally fly. You play it cool, like, all right, cool. You going to sleep, like, nah, because you know it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Noah played the long game. He ain't try to force nothing. He knew if I keep being me, this is gonna happen. Jackie already got the history, bro. You just gave her some drugs. She fucked up.
Yeah.
Telling her to wake up and shit. That's just some creep shit, man. You chill out, Jackie. You got it. You relax.
But that was my whole. You're right. This episode made me start to look at him like, okay, he's a loser for real, because it's like how thirsty he was and like how like he came off very weak. I'm like, man. I'm like, bro, you really got it. You know what I mean? And we already know he probably getting active on other campuses. I mean, I get it. Meadow's top tier, so I won't. And there's probably their childhood references of the crush and all that. But you gotta relax, bro. But he was just so thirsty. But I'll get to more of that. But yeah, in the 90s, 2000, right here, they looked at this like respectable. Like, okay, he didn't do anything.
Oh yeah,
in the 90s, this is restraint in the 90s right here. It's like, okay, he let her lay out. Now people get all into the details of it. Do we need to get into specifics? So
yeah, to that point, you're 100% right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of getting into specifics, there's a private meeting between Seal and Tony at Vesuvio's. There's a lot of little meetings at Vesuvio's this episode, but Tony voices his frustration with Ralph, but Silvio brings the earning back to perspective in comparison to Paulie's ability. What did y'all think about this conversation? Because I like the way Seal is treading, but still being a true consigliere. What did y'all think about this private meeting?
Loved it. This scene right here, I love Seal. Seal is the person you need in your life, not the one that you want. The person that you need. All he cares about is moving this thing forward. Let's take the information that we have and let's just call it what it is. There is no personal feelings. There's no none of that. That's why I love Seal. He keeps everything about the main thing. Regardless of all the personal shit, I can have my opinion about that. He has a legitimate beef. You know what I mean? I feel you, Tony. I can't believe that he didn't take your drink. I know Paulie bringing up the idea of, getting rid of him, whatever, but that girl was not related to you by blood or marriage. He can be banned from the bean. It ain't this deep. You ain't got to take it this far. Either you get rid of him or you apologize, one or the other. And the fact that Tony was even pushing back, like, you going to give it in? Like, look, I'm just telling you what it is. As your number two, facts. This is the facts. There's no other way I can go around this. You fucked up. And you had every reason. We understand why you fucked up. I get it. Nobody's mad at you for fucking up. But at the end of the day, you did fuck up. Okay. And these are your two options. And that's it. And Sil just laid it all out on the table. And there was no personal, I'm not even coming at you. Even the way he said it was in a comfortable manner. There's not too many people, if anyone, that has Tony's ear like that. Even Junior doesn't have Tony's ear like that. So I just thought, I mean, it's prime, top-notch, overqualified number 2 performance by Sil. Like, this is why you have Sil. This is why Tony can do what he does. It was incredible.
Great breakdown. That was a great breakdown. Only add I have to that is it shows the importance in what they do of like the gossip and shit just lingering around. It can't happen. Like he told Tony, either look, bro, you make him disappear or you make nice, but we can't have another situation where he turning down a drink from you in public. Like that ain't how this thing works. And you get similar sentiments when people are talking to Ralphie in later conversations in the episode. Like those people are concerned with this thing of ours, what we do. Like y'all putting smut on this. Like y'all need to figure this shit out ASAP. So I think that was a good point.
Yeah, great pull from both of y'all. I like that idea because, like you say, you do need a number 2 like that. And in the world where Tony deals in a lot of gray and complexity, you need somebody that could keep simplified at times. A lot of times we live in the gray. Of course, things are never as simple as it seems, but you need a person, like you said, keeping the main thing about the main thing. And that's what he does. Even when he went after Tracy, I don't even think he was so mad that she was off. He was mad that you owe me because I furnished your braces. Like, this is business. I'm in the hole with you, and you're sitting here chilling, talking about Ralphie's gonna take care of it. No, this is business, and you owe me. You know what I mean? I didn't give you that money for the braces for nothing. You got to come back to work, regardless. Even if we know how everything went down, but that's what it is. So Silvio is all about that simplicity, and Tony needs a person like that. So I love that Tony refuses to give him some of the casino because it's a connection to Johnny Sack in New York. Smart veto right there for Tony. Like I was like, nah. And then he's like, you gonna make him a captain? And he's like, oh man, absolutely not. Like, cause that's giving him way much. Cause Ralphie is an intimidating person from a financial standpoint, I think, and that's what I'm alluding to when I get to Paulie later in the episode. He's a person that you're intimidated by because the biggest check rules, it seems like, in this family. So it's like a person like that, if he goes capo, it's only so much time before he starts talking to all of the capos about this is why we don't need Tony. He's going to therapy. You start seeing it because Ralphie can sell it. If Ralphie has the opportunity to sell it, there may be a possibility of people turning their back on Tony. We see what he does with a little bit of the crew.
I don't see that. I get what you're saying. I really do. I don't think the big players are going to go for that. We see that in the conversation with Johnny Sack. You know what I mean? That's just not going to happen. But Tony's got too much pull, too much clout, too much personality, too many connections for anybody in all seriousness. Just like Albert Breen's was that his son, his nephew, when Richie came to him about the idea. Go against Tony Soprano? I don't think so.
Right.
Can Ralph shake shit up? Absolutely. Can he take it to that level?
I don't think he will be successful, but I think that the pursuit.
Carmine don't even know who he is. So we got to reel it in a little bit.
Okay, I get that, but
I get what you're saying.
But I'm saying, because we know Ralphie don't have the patience to work that long play anyway. But I'm saying if anybody could have tried to like shake it up and possibly be like, the moment we catch Tony slipping, like, later we'll catch him slipping, but it's not necessarily, where it's like, okay, people start.
He always a big dog in a room full of puppies.
Yeah.
That's what Ralph is. That's what he does. Like he stands out in the room full of the puppies.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't stand out in the room full of big dogs, but there's a difference. There's a difference between Tony and Ralphie. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's a difference. There's a difference.
You know what I mean? So
that Tony tries not to make bum decisions. So but
one last thing before we get off the scene, we always talk about expression acting. James Gandolfini, when Sil was telling him, I know it was a tragedy, but she wasn't related to you by blood of marriage. She wasn't your Gumar. The way James Gandolfini's like rolling his eyes, like he knows that that Sil is right.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I know. Like you laying the rules out to me like I don't know the rules.
Yeah. All right.
Like, and that was just that acceptance of you right, I fucked up, but him still not being able to accept or make what his wrongs are right. And I think part of the whole Capo thing, he's hesitant for that. I think a little bit of Tony realizes he should have made Ralph a captain to begin with. And now he has some internal strife about, I don't want to go back on my word, so people look at me like I'm unsure of myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
If he could go back in time, he would have made Ralphie a captain over Gigi.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. The April crew / Gigi's crew, Ralph is talking mad cash about Tony, based on the rules of the mob, and Eugene seconds this, which they're right. But when I see Eugene, and it sucks because you know where things go later, I was immediately like, bro, shut up. Dude, you just became made. And you're trying to quote the man anyway. But he brings up him and Ro supposed to be invited to the Sopranos house. And Ralph says that he's not scared of Tony and all of these different things. What do y'all think about this scene right here?
It shows, like you said, well, Vito brand new too, but Vito didn't really engage in this conversation. He was just like kind of a bystander. And yeah, Eugene was doing a little much, but it just shows like what you said in the first scene. Ralphie full of himself. He's talking about the earning that he do, and you know, just a big. He got main character syndrome. He thinking it's all about him and everybody. like bro, this is not even about you. As far as the bigger scheme of things, and he just got that big misconception, as we alluded to earlier, and this scene showed that.
That was an incredible pull by you, Spike. The only other thing I'll add is who's not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gigi.
Ralphie's really running that crew. That's why it's hard for Gigi to establish some dominance in his position, because Ralphie runs it. You know, if Gigi was really that guy and Ralphie hit me up, if I'm Eugene and Vito, like, come meet me at this coffee shop, and Gigi ain't there, like, nah, because I already know what this look like. I already know what this look like. But they meeting with him because they know he really runs things behind the scene. He the earner, like you said, Mo. That's the biggest telling thing. You can't have somebody below you that's really pulling the strings. It's like a Junior Tony situation.
Yeah.
Gigi think you the boss, but he really ain't.
That's funny. Yeah, I agree. I do think with the Vito character, I think they went back to the drawing board and kind of rewrote him a little differently. I don't feel like it tracks as smoothly as an Adriana, even though we know she was there for the first episode, then they brought her back and she became, but I think Vito's story kind of changed. I don't think it's as fluid because he's like almost a totally different person. Like if he had just been made and then he kind of built up his confidence to what we see later, it makes sense, but it just seemed like they kind of wrote him differently on the other half of the series. So
they definitely did.
I mean, not that part of it, but right, not that part, but like as far as like being outspoken, you know what I mean? Like he kind of becomes a little more.
He became a good earner.
I was about to say it comes with, like, there was a vacuum. Of course, we know something's gonna happen, but that crew does a vacuum. Somebody had to take over the stuff that was.
Oh, he ended up okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. There you go. That makes
so. Okay. As he stepped up, he's got more swag about himself. People started knowing more, but that was because somebody was out of the way at that point.
There were some changes.
Yeah, and he took over.
Okay, I stand corrected. I forgot about that part. We're at the Bada Bing.
They get one in there every week, don't they?
How long was you waiting to see my face? Because I know Rick.
Hey, I had this in my notes, man. I know
waiting for this all week, son.
Both face when this shit come up,
bro. So the Reverend comes into the Bada Bing.
The hat crazy.
Man,
the Kwanzaa hat is nuts.
The Jim Brown hat.
The Jim Brown, like, comes to the Bada Bing to get some turkeys for Thanksgiving, and they educate him on an Italian Thanksgiving, which sounded wonderful. I was like, yo, hook it up. What are you doing here?
Picking up turkeys.
Yeah, Nino Brown style, man.
I will meet you out back. What? This guy,
turkeys, bro.
This guy is nuts. You have to come inside of here. Where did look?
He didn't even look at the stage, man.
Bro, where did he get where did he get the turkeys though? Did he get it inside the Bing?
Nah, they are.
Get it from outside.
He had to go in there and holler at everybody.
Oh, okay.
Hey, what's up?
You gotta shake hands and kiss babies, man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
hard
Networking
on
is
the
very
reverend like
important,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I don't know why because when we first met him,
I mean,
he
yeah,
was just a regular
he
black
was
pastor, man, black reverend, man. I don't know why they put the kente cloth hat on
The
him.
hat was racist. That was one of the
That
most
shit was
racist
silly.
things
That
they
was
did in the
definitely-
Sopranos. Like, bro, what the fuck?
they were
Yeah, man, that
doubling
shit was
down on the
silly as hell.
Swahili, man. They doubling down on the Swahili.
That shit was silly. Like I laugh every single time I see this. Like y'all niggas, y'all done gone too far with the comedy.
Yeah, you go too far, and it's like it's because it's this weird thing. I watch another show, 90210, and I don't even want to talk. I'm not gonna go into depth here, but it's just sometimes how they write black characters. They don't really understand the black characters. You don't even bring people in to kind of educate. So it just feels weird here where you bring this black character in, and because these Italians take such a pride in Italian affairs in regards to Thanksgiving and all of that, you bring him in with the kente hat with the Kwanzaa type thing going on. But we know most times we don't even see that. We don't even see that normally from I haven't seen it ever in my entire life. A pastor having the kente hat on celebrating Kwanzaa. I've never seen this in my whole life. I don't know. Maybe it's a 90s too.
It might be a Jersey thing. It might be a Jersey.
Oh, maybe a Jersey. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for clearing that up.
East Coast stuff.
Okay.
I told you, man. I told y'all Sons of Anarchy, man, which they do that shit very blatantly. Like if you ever seen anybody listening to ever watch that show, anytime there's this black gang called the Niners, anytime they come on screen, you hear the hip hop music. Whenever the Mayans come on screen, you get the the salsa Latin music. Like they be doing that shit. I be like, y'all funny.
Yeah. Y'all real funny. Like
y'all real funny, man.
Because it's like who goes through the process of saying, oh, that works. That's perfect. Like a few people have to approve this. So it's just hilarious. And it just makes me wonder like kind of how the Reverend is in connection. Don't get me wrong. I know I listened to Sammy the Bull, Our Thing podcast, and he talked about, like wanting to do things within the community. That was an important part of the Costa Nostra. Like it wasn't just about whipping up dudes and going to collect your check. It was also trying to do things in the community just because they wanted to have that respect from that regard as well. So I get this aspect of it, but I just don't understand why the black Reverend, like how they feel about blacks it just always throws me. I'm like, what kind of?
Well, they got other business.
Oh, it's the construction thing from earlier.
Yeah, they got other business. It's not just because he's a black
reverend
Reverend in the neighborhood and they being nice to him.
It's
because he has some inside ties. Even when Tony was talking, I forget who he was talking to when he said, when he was talking to Noah, you know what I'm saying? I got black business associates and I don't want them going out with my daughter and they don't want me going out with theirs. Or, my son going out there, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So I think that's more of it. He got an inside track to it. It's strictly business. It's not
Yeah, they ain't friends.
Yeah, on a surface level, they civil, they cordial. Like, hey, what's going on? You see, you can come into the Bing and say what's up, but they ain't asking about each other's families and all that. Right. I'm here to say what's up. I'm here to get these turkeys. I'll see y'all in the next business transaction.
All right, fair enough. They go
but who I really want to hear from, anybody listening, I want to hear from the Hesh defenders, man, because I listen.
Oh man, it's about.
I don't like Hesh at all.
Yeah,
I'm not a Hesh fan, and I know him and Tony. Hesh and Johnny go back and all that and respect, and that's like his OG, his godfather, whatever you want to call it. But once again, bro, it's almost like the Johnny Sack conversation when he was at the dinner table bringing up the hit.
Yes.
Like, why are you here while we giving out turkeys? Coming to me talking about something. What's this I hear about Ralph Cifaretto refusing to drink? Like, that ain't none of your fucking business,
bro. I was. What are you doing here? You're not in the mob, bro. That's why I'm always confused. I'm like, you're not in the mob. You're a civilian, so to speak. You've done some some business things with them, similar to the Reverend. But you're asking me about. You don't see the Reverend asking, "What's this I hear about?" And we got business together. He makes me sick. Like, he makes me so sick.
That's got some special pull, man. He's been around for a long time. He's kind of grandfathered in. He like Capadonna, with Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? He wasn't necessarily considered an original member, but he Wu-Tang. So you kind of get it.
I think Hesh is kind of like a father figure to Tony. Like you said, he go back with his dad. So I think he's asking, they're doing two things. One, to show, like, as this show does so greatly, like how they play telephone, like the gossiping and how it's gotten all the way back to Hesh. And gotten back to him, and he was so concerned, like y'all said, that he popped up like, bro, what are you doing here? He's there to ask Tony about that specifically because he's concerned about his well-being. Like, that's how big of I believe that they painting it to be like, we know how big of a problem this is. It ain't just, oh, these two guys are having a little beef or a slick interaction. Like, this is on everybody's mind. Like, even the little nigga asking Jackie about it, like way back, or excuse me, in a couple of scenes forward from this. But I think that they put Hesh there to show the importance of this beef, like how far word is traveling and like what's going on with it. Because Hesh was genuinely concerned. He's like, bro, that's a problem, bro. Like, you need to figure this shit out.
Makes a lot of
But
sense.
he didn't really have no input though.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's just like y'all smacked the fire at him because I got highly upset. Like, that was funny, but that we can't pass. Yeah, like back to Africa, like no. But I can't leave out the classic joke from Christopher. Turkeys have a bad sense of direction. They were heading to the food emporium, and now they're here. Just a little, you know that clicking and ticking, like Chris comes through every here and there when he's not there. You got a good one-liner, so that was cool.
Yeah, man, funny. That's funnier than Bernie.
Man. Boy. We get this. So we get this small scene. Rosalie comes to Jackie Jr. to kind of see what's going on, see if he gonna do the Thanksgiving thing or whatever, and he wants to know kind of if Meadow's gonna be there, and that's kind of the only way he's trying to set up the play. Carmela's got all these groceries. Tony comes in all rude as usual and drops the turkey on the edge of the island of the kitchen, and he basically tells Carm like, look, they ain't coming, I ain't having it. Now you can tell them or I'm gonna tell them, but my excuse ain't gonna be as good as yours. What did y'all think about this scene, this kind of setting up the stakes of the Thanksgiving in the late Thanksgiving dinner later in the episode?
I think it showed like just the pettiness to come around them beefing. Like, even it is another great thing that they doing here is showing that not just in the streets and it affecting business, but because our families are involved, it's the small shit now that you have to worry about as well. Dinner invites, our wives are friends, our kids know each other. Well, not their kids in this sense, but it's just showing the many different veins of why a problem like this can become a big deal.
I like it. What'd you say, Rich?
I don't really have much else to add to that. That was pretty much perfect. That's the transition they're trying to make, and obviously showing that the budding romance between Jackie and Meadow. They're really trying to do their Game of Thrones blend families. You know what I mean? Type of shit.
Yeah. What I do like, I really found joy in this. It warmed my heart here, but just seeing Carmela unpack the food and stuff for Thanksgiving, it was heartwarming for me. I just like seeing that got me kind of in the holiday spirit a little bit. I'm like, I know that feeling of getting the greens out. I got a lot of cooking. Make sure you bring this, and it just that little part of this scene was just probably my favorite part of it. Just I love the idea. I mean, again, last episode we get, I call it the Carmela backdoor spinoff, but we get to see this, and then we get when Tony walks in, you see how Rudy is, and it just kind of continues from everything we got to see her go through last week on a small scale. And so I did enjoy this, and we'll get her live later down the road, and boy, did she body it. That only tell I get there. I ain't gonna even, because I got a deeper pool when it comes to that. But yeah,
I like how he put when he explained it to her, when he said enough of this Jetson shit, them coming over to Mr. Spacely's house for the dinner. Mr. Spacely was the boss. I don't eat. He basically telling her, I don't eat with the help. Like, what the fuck they even doing over here?
Oh,
that was great. That was a great pull by that.
Yeah.
I also love we can take it for granted, especially being that the Sopranos has been out for so long, and the three of us were well versed in it, seen it numerous times. A lot of people listening probably have, but it's hard to take for granted, or easy to take for granted, how intricate the Sopranos was at showing us that day-to-day of the mafia, and not just the glorified stuff that you see in Godfather and all these other mob movies, but the Thanksgiving. We still celebrate birthdays of Thanksgiving. This season, actually, You get a Thanksgiving episode, you get a Christmas episode, you get Carmela's birthday. Just those regular things. Like when you aren't at the Bing, what are you doing with your time? How do you celebrate your family? What does that look like from the perspective of the mob? So these type of episodes I always appreciate them for that reason. You know, Tony still has people over the house for Thanksgiving and all that. He still does the shit that we all do. So anytime you blend that, you know, those common threads, it always makes it a little bit more, you know, more personal.
Yeah, that's a fact, and it's so innovative. I mean, it's so innovative. Like that time. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but people don't understand that. People, when you try to, I ain't gonna say sell, but you try to push people on like, yo, you should really check out the Sopranos, and trying to explain, yo, it's more than a mob show. It seems like it's just a hard selling point because it's so many things. You know, this show is a comedy show. This show is a mental health show. This show is so many things. It's so hard to find a good selling point for me a lot of times with it because you can't put it in a box and you can't summarize it in like 3 sentences. You know what I'm saying? At least I can't. So it's just one of those really challenging things for me. But yeah,
y'all put somebody at Ralphie.
Oh no, you're not. I mean, yeah, the way that drink thing set up, it's like, oh, I'm one upping you. Yeah, absolutely, because you still out of pocket.
After Seals talk,
I was gonna say, it wouldn't have been based on Seals talk for me, but just Carmela and Ro. Like, I wouldn't have pulled the invite.
I think if I was
out of consideration for my wife, but again, they think come first. So
yeah, if I was. Sales talk probably would have made me. I would have had a conversation with Ralph before. This wouldn't even come down to this. You would have known. We would have had a conversation, and based off that convo, I'd have known if you were coming through or not. But that's Tony's lack of, accepting the fact that he was wrong.
Communication, right? Yeah.
Both of them were wrong, but he can't do that. So, when you're the boss, man, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, I would have definitely uninvited. Yeah, we're just gonna keep rumoring it up because because it's like they get that. They eventually we would have got to the source, to the original, like, my bad for hitting you. I shouldn't have hit you as a made guy. But as far as we still in it, we still in it. You know, we doing little petty stuff, like we in it right now. So you ain't coming over. I'm not about to fake kiss you on the I put my hand out and you slap it away. I tried to ask you for a drink and you turned it away. All right, cool. And because even though I crossed the line on hitting you as a made guy, you don't act like, and that's why I appreciate the Johnny Sack scene later, don't act like you don't know where this came from. But we'll get there when the Johnny Sack and Ralph scene. But we get the therapy session, and who do we see? The finest Gumar in the Sopranos, in my opinion. Gloria Trillo. Gloria. And she's sitting there, got the legs crossed. She's handling business. Tony sees her. He has that immediate look like, oh, finds out Melfi double booked both of their appointments because she had to reschedule hers to this day. And so Tony, pretty much says, you know what, you got it. I'll come back later on in the day. And that works out, and Melfi meets with him. What did y'all get from this little interaction?
You know what we got.
What was that?
It was the wheels of spinning. You already know what's about to happen. Gloria ain't just there. They ain't put her in that couch for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see the way Tony looking at her. He looking at her like she Thanksgiving dinner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tony got something to go after now. That's a play.
Yeah, I got so much more on that in the later scene too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just that double booking and everything.
I wonder, are we to believe that other than the Bing, has Tony been faithful up to this point? Because we ain't really seen the Russian chick. Are we to believe that he don't really have a Gumar now?
Yeah, he doesn't have a Gumar. I don't have any idea because every Gumar that he has,
we've
been introduced to pretty much all his Gumars throughout this entire series.
It seemed like he'd been on the straight and narrow since he cut it off with the Russian chick.
Well, he got, remember, in
other
university.
Than the Bing, I mean.
Okay, I about to say at the Bing University, he was getting his joint.
Somebody consistently, he was.
Job.
That's part of that. Those are benefits
to the job.
That's part of it. Yeah, that's a work perk.
That's a work perk.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like
right.
having free coffee, bro.
Okay. It's complimentary. Like
Yeah, complimentary, man.
complimentary
Hey,
neck dinner.
yeah, but we ain't see nobody like with Gloria. Because I mean, listen, we ain't gonna get too far ahead. But Tony was out here, fool, nigga. You got a wife at home, bro. You got kids.
She's a mother.
You gotta relax. Like Tony, you gotta relax. Hey, what? It's like Paulie told him in Goodfellas, man. You gotta go home.
Yeah,
you gotta go home,
yeah.
bro.
Now you can't leave, boy.
Man, you can't be out here doing this shit that you on. Tony was fooling.
He
We'll get
was.
to it later.
Yeah, so they work it out and that's it. But we find out he lies and says, I'm here trying to stop smoking cigarettes, and she says she's a serial killer. She murdered 7 relationships. There's a clue right there. But Tony, it doesn't seem to process, because we'll see later he asks a little bit more about her, and he can't understand because she seemed like she's so together. Which this kind of fits that stigma of like when people didn't go to therapy, because in that era, and because people, when you go to therapy, they think you're crazy, you're hiding something. And so I feel like this kind of fits that stigma, because she looks normal. You're like, I don't even understand why she's here. And it's like, Tony, like, I know why I'm here. I'm nuts, but nobody else knows that but me and you. You know what I'm saying? But why is she here? And so like we'll get more revealed later on for those that are new watchers and happen to listen to our podcast. But I just feel like it fits that stigma.
The way Tony is looking when Melfi closes that door, the way that Tony got his arms crossed, looking like, oh yeah, I'm at her. I need her.
Oh yeah, I got to have that.
She is in the scope.
Yes, she's in the scope.
Line her up. Line her up.
Man, you're right. Oh, I did want to speak to as well, like Dr. Melfi, she came out with the glass. I think she looked really, really attractive in this episode. I don't know. It seemed like she got her hair do. I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is continuity with Thanksgiving type of thing, families coming in town, or maybe it ain't, but it just seemed like her hair was like kind of more pressed, and she had the glasses off. The makeup was a little different. I thought she had a good look this episode. So definitely always love to Jennifer over here in my book.
Did y'all take anything into her messing up the schedules? I don't think there was anything really there. I think it was a common mistake, but I just didn't know if either one of y'all thought more into it than that.
It's a bigger mistake than Melfi knows.
That's a good point.
That's worlds colliding again. Like even when she's out, she's still in. You know?
We'll talk about that in the next couple episodes.
Oh yeah. So that's that. But Carmela calls Ro, and she killed this lie. She says, pretty much, my father, this whole blood cell thing, and he's having a hard time, and my mom just wants a quiet Thanksgiving, so it's just gonna be us, just a family. And so that's what she pretty much tells her. She hangs up, and then Ro tells Ralphie that they're canceling Thanksgiving, and Ralphie, they give us a little expression from Ralphie, like he obviously ain't feeling it, and he ain't like it, but it's a given. Anything I get from this short scene right here?
Carmelo's the one that has to do Tony's dirty work. When it comes to the domestic type of issues, you know, Tony can handle his own dirty work when it comes to, you know, his other family. When it comes to this, Carmela's the one that got to deliver that bad news. Goes back into that conversation we had about Carmela earning it.
Oh yeah,
that's another reason why she has to do stuff like that. She was so hurt to do that to Ro that she had to do a Hail Mary after. You know, she lied on her dad's health, which is funny because in Pine Barrens, we find out something about her dad. You know what I mean? So she had to do all of that just to clean up something for Tony. She don't even know what the issue is. Tony said, "Do it," so I got to do it.
And Ro down there, her best friend, it seemed like.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. There's nobody closer. They take trips together later down the road, so I agree. But yeah, it sucks. I hate it for Ro. I like the Ro character, but that sucks. But that's a part of it, and it speaks to Carmela caring so much about that social status. Because it's like, if Tony does this, I don't want us to look this way as the Soprano family a certain way, and so she still cares. Which is hard, because that's kind of all she has to hold on to is their social status. She don't have a career. She don't have really anything for herself. So all she has is really the reputation, even though she's Tony's wife, but that's all we have. So again, like you said, doing Tony's dirty laundry, you know, so to speak. So that's a good pull from last week's episode. we get Tony in therapy, and Tony is trying to figure out what to do with Ralph, and begins talking about the Art of War book she told him about. My question is, do y'all think he actually read the whole book? Because he speaks to Cliff Notes on another book within this therapy scene.
No, of
It
course
seemed
not.
like he was interested in it. I don't know if he read it, but it seems like he was interested enough to do some research because some of the stuff that he's saying is in the book.
Yeah, he definitely wanted
And
to
it-
know more about it, but he didn't sit down and read the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a big ass book.
She wants to know if he's in danger, which is just an interesting thing. Again, I think this still leans to, this still leans to the idea that I feel that Melfi always had an opportunity to out. And so, again, we're not there. We're way far from that moment, but I just never liked when the out came, because there's moments that was way more fitting. So it's just always kind of that thing for me that hovers over the series all the way into the end. Just asking if he's in danger, But he asked about Gloria. He's like, she basically said, I can't say anything about it, but she should have said something right here, because if he's asking about Gloria, what interest does this mob guy have to Gloria? You knew he had a girlfriend at one point. He told her, I have a girlfriend. She's young. How does that make you feel, when he was doing that banter with her and everything? So it's like, when he asked, she should have immediately like, I full discretion.
You can't do that.
I mean, she's a client now. She can't get no information, but I wouldn't advise. I wouldn't advise that you're a married man. That you ain't broke no code saying that.
That
Nah,
ain't
can't
Dr.
you
Murphy
now-
place. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's now you being your job ain't to be judgmental.
That's judging by saying something.
Absolutely. Because now, now he won't be as open with her if that would be her response. Like, she needs information. He can't go in there guarded and have him lie to her, even though he does it. But his guard is down some, and that will make his guard go up. Like, he got to be. She can't do that.
And you gotta think of it like this too, Mo. Like, he didn't ask her about her information as far as like how to get in contact with her, who she is. He was pretty much just on some I'm curious as to why a woman like that needs to go to therapy. It doesn't make sense to him. And I'm sure people look at Tony like, why does a guy like this, or my boss, need to go to therapy? It's just that stigma that you kind of alluded to. So that would be even more telling. Like, damn, like, I didn't even ask for her shit. You telling me not to go with it? Like, what you think of me?
You can't jump to that. Yeah, you can't jump to that conclusion as a therapist.
Not saying she wrong, don't get me wrong, but in her line of work, she can't do that.
Yeah, but but she's already had that. Remember, she had that judgmental wave, and that didn't turn Tony off. I mean, he was bothered in the moment. He was like, "You pick now to have a stance." Remember when she had that moment? Because you don't remember that? I think it was last season where she was like, "You pick." He was like, "What is this? What are you coming from?" Like, she was real judgy, and he was like, "You pick now to have an issue." I can't remember if it was over AJ. It was some issue that she had, and she kind of let it slip, like her personal feelings towards something. But that didn't stop him from coming, and he kept on coming after that. So
I think she was holding him accountable in that sense. Like, she was holding him accountable to the sense of proving a point that he wasn't this high and mighty being. So she brought that up. Like, yeah, you're saying this and you have to fix all these problems or whatnot, or who are you to have to fix these problems when you're the one running around with a Gumar? So I think that was still part of like what she does. I think jumping to the conclusion just because he asked about it, like, you're a married man, Tony, like, that would be a complete, like,
she could find a way around it though. How do you think Carmela feels? How are things with you and Carmela?
Bro, that ain't none of her business.
No, that's all up in there. It's like, let me ask, how are things with you and Carmela? That's easy.
It's great. Let's move on to tell me more about Gloria.
I'm just saying, she always has the option. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you hold somebody accountable, don't you think there's judgment within that though? Holding somebody accountable, that I feel like that's in the ingredient.
It should. Do you feel like Seal was judging Tony? I don't think he was.
No, I mean,
he was holding them accountable.
And it was.
I don't know, because we just never get Seal. We never get any of that. We never get those layers of how he feels about anything, really.
But that's how you do it. That's how you hold somebody.
But everybody's not Seal. Like, we see everybody in some point hold somebody accountable, but they're not Seal. Seal is an exception, like almost an exception to the rule, because nobody likes Seal.
No,
like,
but Sil is an example of the rule that can be had.
It
You
can
call him
be.
exception.
You're
I
right.
call him example. If you follow Sil's rule, you can go about holding people accountable without being judgmental.
But he's the minority in that.
I
That's
don't
what I'm
think
saying.
so. I think he's a minority in this show. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, like in this show, that's what I'm saying. He's the minority in the majority of this. Emotions and all kind of other things come into it. But Sil, you're right. He's the perfect example of how to do that. But I don't know.
In this show, he's absolutely he's 1-on-1. Sil is 1-on-1, man. There's nobody.
Yeah, that's
I
just a
wouldn't want
different
anybody
kind
else
of.
to be my number 2 than Sil.
Yeah. But it's late. They get because their appointment was set for 7. Get ready to leave, and he's like, "You want me to walk you to my car?" And she says, "No, I'm all right." And I immediately just rolled my eyes, almost like just took a. I'm like, "Here we go again. Here we go again." Like that, because we know what happened already in Employee of the Month. Not saying it's gonna happen again, not. But it's like this is not the same as having Tony tear this dude apart or whack him. It's like he trying to be a gentleman here and say, "Hey, I can walk you to the car. You're not gonna owe me nothing." It's not like, "Oh, you owe me a favor now because I walked you to the car." It's just we're past the part of Tony's not doing any more favors. He's not bringing you coffee. He's not getting your car fixed without you knowing. He's not doing any of those things in regard to your personal life anymore. Having your boyfriend whipped. Like he's not doing any of these things anymore, keeping an eye on you. So it's like it's okay to let him just walk you to the car. It's late. We don't normally do this. I just didn't like it, man.
I don't think that she wanted to show vulnerability to Tony. I think that she still has a professional duty not to be vulnerable for him. Like she has to stay professional, even though, like she said later in the episode, I almost broke down crying in his arms.
Mm-hmm.
She just can't accept the offer. It stands in the way of what they're doing, especially with a patient like Tony, who may misconceive it because of everything that you just brought up, because of the coffee, because of the pursuing her earlier. He may take that as the wrong way. She has to take that into account, even over her own safety.
That's a fact. And everybody deals with trauma and horrific things differently. Maybe that's just something she might have known that as soon as we leave this office, I might start breaking down and crying. And now he's looking at me like I'm crazy. Now I might have to slip up and say what happened. We sorry slip up and say Tony's name to Elliot. Who knows what she's still not fully in her right state of mind just because of what the horrific things that happened to her. So I just think it really blurs lines, like you said. Once you get that little in, that's when people start thinking, maybe we are a little cooler than what it is. Nah, it's got to say doctor patient.
Yep.
All right. I get it.
If any other profession, I feel you, Mo.
I just almost feel like, okay, well, then have your husband like waiting for you. I got a late appointment today. Can you just wait in the parking garage? Or can you pick me up? We don't know that
didn't happen, though. We don't know that nobody was there. Like maybe
I mean, you're right. You're right. And I hope that there was precautions taken. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just don't like the idea of it's being late and that happened to you and you're going back and trying to be like the odds of it happening again or this or that. Or like I just don't like the idea of it. Like it's like, we love you, Melfi. Please, like, take some steps. You know what I'm saying? That's all. But you're right. We don't know. It could have been Richard could have been waiting for her, or we never know. So you're absolutely right. It could be something like that. But Thanksgiving at the Sopranos, another heartfelt moment for me because I just love these family holidays. They're watching football. Janice comes in with turtles? I don't know if it's chocolate turtles or whatever, and we meet this guy named Aaron, and he sleep. He sleep on Tony's arm. And then all of a sudden, it's like Tony didn't even notice that he like, hey, get the fuck off me, bro, get off me. Like Tony, look, like
the look and the look he gave him.
Like, look he gave Janice.
Like,
and the fuck is this guy?
Bro, like he just magically appeared sleeping on your shoulder. And then he like really like, bro, get off me. Like, who are you? Like, how did you get here?
Aaron is the single most out of place character that we've ever seen in The Sopranos.
Oh man, yeah,
like that may be like he's a one of one. Like we
definitely
never got anybody else like him.
He's so far. Yeah, you're right. Like, wow,
he's so far away from this world, man.
Yeah,
damn.
Yeah,
100%, man.
You know,
I just don't say what Janice is going through right now,
huh,
bro?
What Janice is going through.
I was wondering, did he live with her at the mom's house? Like, I got so many questions about
so
Aaron,
many,
bro.
yeah. I mean, obviously she met him at the
Do he
prayer
know
group.
what Tony do? Like I got so many questions about him.
He out of here, man. He don't know nothing.
No, he don't know. He don't know nothing.
He out of here, bro.
He's not awake long enough to. All right. Janice says, "Did you tell Dad and Grandpa how I served Barry Sanders?" And AJ says she served him, which is kind of funny because there was the funeral scene this season and Prosha Lavushka where Janice said something and Tony's like, "You just did. Wrap it up." Like, it's just funny, like the patience level they just don't have for her shenanigans. And this is an interesting thing because Janice is trying to really sell this. Like, she's falling so far from grace in this world of being with a Richie Aprile to now being with a person like Aaron, which speaks to her tenacity later in the series of pursuit for another man in her life to get back into this world. So it's just funny to see this because she's trying to reinvent herself again because that's what she does. Formerly being what was her name? Provolone? What was it? I can't remember what her name was. Pravati. You know, just this constant reinventing herself. So now she's at the prayer groups and she's with Aaron and all that. And so, yeah. But I thought this was good. Tony walks over to the kitchen, and when he walks over to the kitchen, he has this like, they do this real interesting edit where Carmela, and I know this was intentional, Carmela's standing there, and then when Carmela like moves, it's like Meadow is perfectly behind Carmela. So I thought that was like a real great, you know, editing or camera work right there for what they were doing. I know it. I imagine say, no, position yourself this way, and they had to shoot it specifically. So that was really good. And then he gets this flash back of Tracy, and then he has kind of a vulnerable moment with Meadow, which I think just ties it all together so perfectly. And it kind of I feel like it brings his emotions back. Was like, I'm thinking about doing the right thing, but seeing this again kind of brought it back. Like, nah, man, forget Ralph. Like, so anything else y'all get from this scene right here?
It might be minor. It might just be a me thing. But Meadow sometimes bothers me with her reactions to certain things. It might be because I'm listening to y'all podcast, Another Week in the Books. I'm starting from the beginning, and I just finished up the Father's Day episode. Your dad come up to you and just say, you know, you mean everything in the world to me. Your initial reaction shouldn't be, what are you talking about?
Right.
That's just a Meadow trait that she has. I don't know. It's just, you know, I know they've been on the rocks and things ain't been the greatest, but that's a perfect moment to, you know, that's still your dad. You can see the love there. You obviously know that, but I don't know. Her small reactions to things sometimes be like, man, Meadow, chill. Like, relax.
Okay. Right. She does have that weird, like, opposite, her, like, how she reacts versus how she feel. Like, Dad, it's my prom night or my graduation night. And then Carmela goes upstairs and she said, I'm not mad at Dad. If they don't like it, forget them. Like, bro.
Even like the night, I forget what season, if it was season 2. I'm thinking it was season 2 when Tony was at the table drinking.
Yeah.
I tell people, you like Carm, but you all me. Like, even her willingness, go to sleep, Dad. Like, can we do that? Like, she just didn't want to have that moment. She didn't want to be in the moment. Take 5 minutes just to sit with her pops.
Yeah.
Just talk to them. Because they don't, you know, the older you get, you don't have those moments all the time. You know, and as time goes on, you realize, like, man, I really wish I took the 5. And like I said, it's 5-10 minutes. It's not your whole night. Yeah. Like, I know you're tired, but your pops is asking you, you see you fucked up. You see what's going on with him. It was just so like, why? What do you want? Yeah. So she does that from time to time, but that's a very small thing. I rock with Meadow.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah, you're right. That's her reactions are always kind of, it's just always weird. Like, you know, we pan over to Rose sad Thanksgiving, and we see Ralph again. This is where I really wanted to highlight the childlike behavior. There's this, he's scraping the food with his head down, like when you're upset as a kid at the dinner table and you got to eat, and you know,
sad Thanksgiving. You silly.
Yeah, it was a sad Thanksgiving. Like, it was just like, and so Ralph is like not into it. Then Rose says to the gravy worked out. She tells Jackie Jr., if you want to leave, instead of having dessert, you can't. Jackie gets up immediately. He gets up immediately, gets out of there. And then, you know, he's like, hey, show some respect. He's like, what did she say? And he gets out of there. But I do want to highlight, and y'all can add to whatever y'all want. this is a fire sweater that Jackie got. Like this kind of speaks to what I think he's into later in the episode. Like I was like, yeah, this sweater's pretty fire right here. This is I mean, he definitely the X money paying off clearly. Like, but what y'all think about this? The Rose Thanksgiving.
I got a sweater like that. I appreciate it, Mo.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, he's that guy. All right. He's that guy. I didn't know.
He said, "Oh yeah."
I just thought it was sad, man. It's just sad, like you said. The dinner, it didn't look good. Like I don't even know what Ro mom is. She like Latina? She like she don't even look like them. It didn't come off to me. But I don't know. It's just sad. So she's up. Yeah, good point. Good point. Good point. But yeah, this was a sad dinner, like you said, Mo. That was the biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
And it's a sad clown that they keep framing in the background. I don't know if y'all peeped that. The picture.
Let me go back
a picture
a second.
in the background. Yeah, it's a picture. In the background
behind Jackie Jr.
Behind Jackie Jr.
They keep putting it in the frame so you would pick up on it.
Man, look at Spike.
Nah, Spike, that's great.
That's a lock right there, boy. I just rewind and look. I say, oh, that's crazy.
That's a great observation. Sopranos does a lot of. They use their.
Yeah.
We talk about the dialogue. We talk about the acting. It's just from top to bottom with Sopranos, man. They just use everything they can to paint their picture. Even everything matters, man. Background, the decorations, all of that. I love that about Sopranos. That's a great pull, Spike.
Yeah, and it's because the thing about this show is it can be whatever. You can look at it from whatever lens you want to. If you want to say this is not the Tony show, this is the Carmela show, you can watch the whole show looking at it from that way. If you want to say this show is about the mob, or this show is about family, or this show is about, a love story, however you want, you can, the lens you want to, this is an artsy show. It's all about the art. Pay attention to the music. And you can watch this show in so many lenses. That's why the replay value is so high, man. Anybody that's watching this knows that. Like, you can have fun with it. Say, okay, I'm going to watch it through these lenses. So that's why it just keeps flourishing. You get all these podcasts and these YouTube pages and Instagram pages because they did it right the first time. Like, that's just, so shouts out David Chase and all those involved, man. The Sopranos house, it looks like it's nighttime at their house. So it speaks volumes because Rose dinner was done early enough and quick enough where it's still daylight outside. Carmela prepared a meal that took all day, and now it's nighttime outside. So it speaks to the quality and the value of the meal that's being prepared. And we talked about a sad dinner. This is like a really good dinner, clearly. And we see that we got Carmela's parents there. We seen Chris is there. Adriana was there quietly. Janice, Tony, Meadow, AJ, all of that. We get a funny scene. I don't know what it is that Tony threw at this dude, Aaron.
A nut.
Oh, man.
Probably like a walnut.
Okay, I thought it was. I'm like, bro.
He didn't wake up was hilarious.
Yeah, man. And the fact that they just fucking with him. Like, they down there bonding. It's like, who is this dude? I feel Tony, man. Because, like, you can't just be bringing anybody in my crib.
Who the fuck is this, man?
Especially on Thanksgiving. Like, this is a major family holiday. Like, who the fuck is this dude? He already sleeping on me, slobbing on me and stuff. Throwing stuff at making me throw stuff at him. He's just a clown. Like, Janice, you a joke.
You a joke. We laughing at you, kid. Like,
but
I would have been so offended, bro, if I was Tony and if you brought dude to my house and I was Tony on Thanksgiving, I would be so offended. Like, well, who in the fuck is this nigga? Yeah,
right. I mean, she should have went back and got her ex from Seattle. At least he could go all night.
And I'm like that. I'm one of those people. Like, don't just be bringing. If you say you coming to the crib and you got somebody with you, and you don't say that, both of y'all staying outside.
Yeah, boy. I was just gonna say, nope.
Nah, man.
We're gonna talk right here on the driveway, bro.
Yeah, that's just like that's law.
Yeah. But yeah, we get this. I mean, shoot, Bill. I mean, he has narcolepsy. It's a funny thing. Like, I used to fall asleep so often as a kid. My dad thought I had narcolepsy. That's why I see this. I was like, I used to fall asleep so fast. Like, we run errands and I'm knocked out immediately, like all the time. Like, he used to be like, bro, I'm like, no, I just be sleepy. I don't know. But yeah, this doesn't make Janice look good. She went from Richie, who had so much moxie, to like now this, and she's trying to sell it, trying to get them to get a part of the program. Look who I brought to dinner, but nobody's on that wave. So it speaks so heavy to it. Like, And Janice, you know your family. You know they're not going to be accepting, even if you're trying to truly make a change or you're not. You know they're not going to get with it. You know, so maybe in some way Janice was trying to change, and this just brought her back. Just like, you know, Tony has a moment where he tries to change and something brings him back. All these characters try to change, but you're around an environment of people that won't let you change. You know, so in this way, this could have been Janice trying to actually do it after getting whipped up by, you know, the was it not Germans, but the Russians.
And
you know, she trying to actually. So what'd you say?
She was scheming.
I mean, she may have been scheming.
Trying to get that man disability check or something like that for his narcolepsy.
Oh, good call.
Like there's always something with Janice. Like the motive behind it. It just never came back. But she probably was taking his disability check.
I did not think about that. So he can't really work a job because he can't stay up. Yeah. Okay. It's a good call.
Janice scheme.
Yeah, Carmela was fly here too. I mean, she got this little burgundy. Yeah, she's getting off. But Jackie Jr. walks in, trying to see if Meadow wants to go to the movies or something, or go to Dove's, I guess. And she's like, "Well, I was going over to Hunter's. Let me grab my coat." And so, you know, that pretty much is that. He pulls up to Hunter's house, and we found out that Jackie Jr. dropped out of school. He's in the fashion.
Don't do it, Mo. Don't do it.
You ain't got to worry. You know I'm better than that. But he's into fashion, and he's into a specific kind. And and it just reminds me of Christopher. I told y'all about my theory of the fortunate son is actually the fortunate sons, with it being Jackie, AJ, and Christopher. So I'm always keep that in perspective. But he tells her that he's into fashion. That's what he really wants to do, but he just ain't willing to do it. Right here, he's kissing on Meadow. Whoa, Mike almost fell. He's kissing on Meadow, trying to make a play, but she's not going for it. And so he was like, "That's it. I want to be with you. I want you so bad. I want to hang with you." Like, he's throwing it all on the line, and she's pretty much like, "I've been hurt. I need some time." She gets out the car. He pulls out. What did y'all think about this scene, bro?
Nigga screeched off, man. Jackie is a dipshit. Like
screeched off, yeah.
Did he have no reason? He had no reason right here to be mad.
What you mean?
Oh. Nigga, you pulled up on her for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like, you asked her out. Now you trying to smash in the car. This Meadow Soprano, bro. Like, what are you talking? I think she does a good job in this space of holding her value. Like, with Noah, he ain't in this world. It ain't nothing. Like, it means really literally nothing to him or her.
Yeah.
However, if this thing is gonna be a thing, like, it has to be a real thing. Like Janice said at the table, on a Priel and a Soprano, those are two powerful names to reference, like you said, Rich on some Game of Thrones shit. That's a Lannister and a Stark.
Together.
You know what I'm saying? So Meadow does a good job, and it's great how subtly they do it. Like, Meadow knows her place in this world or what they do. And she knows if her and Jackie fucking around, like, it got to be official, because it's going to mean a lot for Jackie, having that name, being that close to Tony.
Absolutely. Like you said, man, he really trying to play Meadow like she just some regular chick. That was a great point you pulled up, Spike. Like, if I do get involved with Jackie, this can't be some fling. This ain't nothing to fuck around with. This has to actually work, because I know what this life can bring and all of that. Which maybe that's another conversation for another day. I always wonder if Meadow would be down for that life.
Good question.
You know what I mean?
That may be why she's holding.
We know Tony. Go ahead, my bad.
I was just gonna say that may be a little why she's holding out as well. Like, she ain't really decided. I know what this can go. Like, I could end up being Carmela, or I can end up being Adriana. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's got so much more to offer, and we see who Meadow. You know, just looking throughout her dating life, it makes sense. You know, once we get towards the end of the series, because that's just she's not a part of this world. She's more of a Barb. When you think about it, I can see Meadow was just wanting to be
more of a what?
Barb is the younger sister, right?
Barb, yeah.
Yeah, like, I got the name and everything. I know how to operate, but I'm far away from this life. Let me just live my regular life and get away.
What a connection! What a connection right there.
But yeah, man, and of course, and Jackie, man, listen, just play a 101. Just game 101, bro. Just that shit, bro. Keep that shit G, man. You up here throwing temper tantrums,
bro.
You talking about other people that done hit and you can't hit. Like you a loser, bro.
You let the
bro.
black guy hit.
Yeah,
You
peel
go
it
out
off.
you go out with the black guy, but you won't go out with me.
Yeah, like that's just like y'all talked about another episode. Y'all talked about I was listening to, man, dirty macking. Like, come on, man, y'all you just straight up dirty macking.
Oh man, like it reminds me of that scene of The Wood when he was like, "You let that Aaron bone? I know I look better than he do."
Straight up, man.
But yeah, it's just funny. It's so weird to me because it's like, I don't know, maybe he didn't get that game from his dad, but it's like even in the earlier scene when she was like faded, he was like getting into it, and clearly she faded. He's like, man, I'm so hard right now. Like, bro, you sound so lame. And then right here, like, I just want to be with you. Like, it's crazy to me. Like when I think about it, again, we're not fans of Noah, but we're gonna give credit where credit is due. Noah found a long play and figured it out, and he played the emotional game with her, which is how he got over on it. He's playing straight physical games. He knows she's attracted to him, but she's more complex than that. You got to have that emotional connection. She told you she's been hurt. Now, here's why I will give him a little bell. I came to pick you up to go to the movies, and you say, "Oh, I'm trying to go over to Hunters." I didn't come over here to give you no ride, bro. I'm not Uber. Like, I want to hang out. We ain't got to do nothing.
But she wants him to be. She wants him to go to Hunters with her.
Man, come on, bro. This is not high school. Like, what is we doing? Like, you had X the other day. We had X together. What are you talking about?
Party. They just was at a house party.
Exactly. You're doing adult drugs. Why you think I'm about to just be Ubering you to Hunter's house? Man, like, he ain't had to drive that fast though. But still, that's the only thing I'll give him a little bit of, like, I gotta study. I did not pick you up on Thanksgiving night for you to study, bro. Like, that's all I'm saying. I ain't saying we got to get to it in this car, but I definitely ain't pick you up to do that. Let's go to Dove's. You know, but
hey man, I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can. All right, I ain't touching that.
You ain't gonna touch that.
I'm leaving it alone. Yeah,
I'm about to say I ain't touching that.
Well, hanging out. I'm just saying hanging out. I ain't talking about no innuendos. I'm just saying hanging out.
No, it's all good.
Oh, okay.
One thing that's really interesting
that goes
also,
to my bad.
I was just gonna say this is a great character trait that you got to pick up or you don't. It says a lot about Jackie too.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie, there's been numerous references from women. I meant to say in the last scene, I love when Carmela's mom was like, "Who could that be?" At this, I'm like, "Calm down."
Oh yeah,
say something too.
Yes,
that was funny.
Your ass down, like. But there's references a few times. It's like the old sitcoms.
Yeah,
you know, when Eddie Winslow walk in the crowd, there's aunties and mamas talking about how handsome Jackie Jr. is.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Jr. ain't used to women just saying nah. But that's probably another part of it too. Like when you are used to shit just flowing your way when it comes to it, you get a little bit your true character come out when you get told to no. Either you're gonna handle it smooth, or you just gonna be on some crybaby shit like he is. So I think that's also a character trait for Jackie.
Okay. He doesn't have patience. Like, he's very impatient with everything, and even then, I think they're trying to show us something where he don't have patience to even stop at a stop sign. You know what I mean? It's like it's more to it. Like you say, he's handsome, used to it being thrown in his hands, but he don't even have the patience to go through the process of stopping and then going. You're always just trying to go. And that's like, I think that's a symbolization right there of Jackie's problem. Like you said, he's used to being that handsome dude and have a little bit of charm, but he don't have like the makings of a varsity athlete, so to speak. So I totally agree. We get a small scene, Tony and Carm. Tony is watching the TV and he sees the Mercedes commercial. And he says he's talking, and on the commercial, they're talking about thrills. And it brings him to the thought of Gloria. Carmela's not on board with Jetto, Jackie and Meadow, for those that don't know.
Whoa, is that like a Reddit thing? Is that an internet thing? Or is that's some Mo shit?
That's some Mo. Yeah, that's
of course it is.
Yeah,
I don't even my ass.
So Jetto. we see I ain't come up with one for Noah and Meadow. Netto, I guess that didn't work out. So we trying Jetto.
Oh goodness, my goodness.
What? Am I crazy for this?
Nah, man, you just Mo. You ain't crazy.
I'm just
it's just it's right on brand.
Yeah,
right on brand.
Look at Spike doing that LOL right now.
Just LOL. That's all I got.
All the way out of there.
I'm learning, man. I am learning.
Man, y'all are crazy.
I'm learning by the day.
I appreciate it. Now I'm gonna just know. I'm like, okay, that's why my cue right there. Because when I see the, I'm gonna start like, all right.
He doing it so smooth too. Jetto, like
Yeah,
what?
Jetto,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
What are you
That's
talking
funny.
about?
Jetto shirts coming soon. But Carm, if y'all notice the consistency, Carm is never really on board with this, and I think it speaks to what y'all were just saying before, as far as April Soprano. And I think Carm looks at Meadow in a way where it's like, I'm trying to prevent you from making a mistake I made, because I really should have went with, Stumpta or whatever his name was that the mom brought up. Yeah, the last episode. Like I should have took the.
You think she thinks that?
I think she just thinks that I don't want you nowhere close to this thing. I want you to have real opportunities. That's why I'm putting down the money at the colleges. That's why I'm trying to do the regular stuff. Like, and maybe, like she told Vic, maybe someday I will be free and I'll be able to do these things where she can be kind of do the regularness thing. So I want Meadow to have the best opportunity. If she's dating an April's son, it's natural for him to end up in this same position. You know what I'm saying? So I think she just really doesn't want that for Meadow. And living vicariously through her as well.
That's fair.
What did y'all think about the thrill, the part I mentioned in the commercial, the thrill? Like, you think that immediately made Tony say, hey, I want the thrill of Gloria?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Like we said, they use everything on this show with that picture with the TV. Oh, like, oh yeah, don't forget that he met this chick in counseling.
Mm-hmm.
He's here with Carm now while she lotioning up her bed, and it's all seemed good, but something else is on his mind. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get the bada bing. Paulie's running his mouth again, telling him about Tony not inviting Ralph for Thanksgiving. And he says he sees the big picture. Now, this is where I wanted to bring up the Paulie thought before we get to the Gigi interaction. You think Paulie sees Ralph as a threat? Is that what his biggest problem is with Ralph?
Absolutely. And again, like we said earlier, Paulie a gangster too. Like, this ain't gangster shit that y'all doing, man. Y'all niggas is playing. Like, like if it go like this, it's supposed to go this way, is what Paulie looking at it as. And two, like you said, he'd see him as a threat.
You okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think everybody looks at Ralph as a threat.
Okay.
Everybody but Seal probably.
Everybody but Seal,
yeah, because Seal got the big dog business, so he, probably raking it in.
Yeah, he know he a good number two.
Yeah,
Seal know he good at his job.
Yeah, like Seal.
Yeah,
you see, Seal don't want to clear out the room. Like, Seal run everything, bro. Like, he's legit.
He's the true, what you want a number two.
Man,
he makes exactly what Tony tells Gigi in the scene. It's your job to make my life easier.
Make my job
easier. Exactly what Seal does for Tony in every sense of the word.
People underrate being Scottie Pippen. People underrate it. I swear they do.
And it's a hard job too.
It's a hard job.
You don't understand it. With very little accolade.
Man.
And you have to fight the desire of being number one.
Yeah.
There's only one time in this series when we get towards the end when there's a mention of, Seal being looked at in that light. He doesn't even do it. He has a small moment with his wife where he says it's something. You don't even think Seal thinks about stuff like that.
Man.
Right.
That's the only time in the series.
Only time. That's what makes it so. I love the what ifs that they bring to the table later in the series, because we want
Seal is one of those true, like, he's overqualified. He's very good at. He's the rare person that's very good at their job and a great teammate.
Yep.
You know what I mean? My job is about the big thing, not me. I'm gonna get mine regardless. I'm Seal.
Yeah.
I'm Silvio Dante. Yeah.
Silvio
motherfucking Dante.
Hey,
I'm out here. I know I'm good. Like, but everything else above me, like, I really follow the chain of command and this thing and what we live by. You need people like that. So Seal is incredible.
Show me the money, Jerry. Show me the money.
Yeah.
Then Tony has this sit down with Gigi real quick in the back of the bada bing, and he's asking about how things with our friend, obviously talking about Ralph, and he's like, he started to tell him about it. Then Tony says, it's your job to make my life easier. What do you think Gigi could have? Is there anything Gigi could have done, or is just Ralph? No matter who was leading over Ralph, nobody would have got him together.
Gigi got too much shit going on, man. Like, he mentioned it here. And
I don't think he do.
Well, he said it here with the kids going to college. That's a good one. I missed that. with the kids going to college. I think he said something about the house being remodeled. The problem with Gigi and that crew, and Junior says it later, like they don't really fuck with Gigi. And now we see why they don't fuck with him, because he's not around. Like y'all, just like we saw about at the diner. He ain't there at the diner with them. Ralph is there at the diner with them. When they probably go out and do whatever they do as the April crew, Gigi probably at the crib because he the number one over there. So he can go home early. You know what I'm saying? He probably on banker hours with the crew. Meanwhile, Ralph, wild man Ralph, like he probably hitting people up 2, 3 in the morning, man. Let's go pull up on this. Let's do that. Let's do this. And people are way more comfortable with Ralph. What he should be able to do, and why Tony is like that good expressional acting, like you said. Tony sees it. His name, he's like, damn, man, you got, like, you just got to, when someone come talk to you and they just like telling you all the shit they going, you be like, God damn, bro, you just got too much shit going on, man. Like, and that's where Gigi is. And he's not an effective leader because he's not able to build that rapport that he needs with the crew.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he walks out and still brings up, man, you see the bags under his eyes, man, the stress is killing him.
They're leading up to it.
Yeah, they leading up to it. And I mean, when we get there, I'll ask some questions about first time watchers.
Further evidence, Gigi should have never been in that position, man. He wasn't built for it. He wasn't built for it.
Yeah. It's weird.
He's a great soldier, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He's a great soldier.
And yeah, that's
starring your role.
And the thing is, I was gonna wait till later, but I ask now. It just makes me wonder why Patsy was never like a possibility. I was just kind of wondered that.
Came in from the outside. And that wasn't his crew.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder though, but like they kind of all seem like they came on the outside because it was the April crew, right?
Yeah, but he don't run with they're a crew, but that's you see
they in different phases of the game.
Not to jump ahead too. My fault. Go ahead, Spike.
No, I would just say Patsy probably be too much of an old head over there.
Yeah, not to jump too far, but later on in this episode, there's a moment where Tony is surveying the room. He's looking at this specific group. He knew that was his options. I don't think anybody else, because you got to think about everything else we just said. We said Ralphie's been a problem. Gigi can't have him under control. Now you're going to get somebody else from the outside to come in. It's going to be the same thing. There was only one decision to make. Like, you got to, whether you like to make it or not, man, Ralphie's going to be a problem for anybody. Yeah, man. He's gonna be a problem, man. You gotta cave in and give that person what they want to keep the peace and make your life easier.
Yeah, you're right. We get Johnny Sack. He's chilling in his yard. Beautiful house. Still looks great as it did when it was first introduced. He's out there listening to the radio, but he turns the radio off real quick. I don't know if this is supposed to allude to something. Maybe y'all can clue me in at that point. But Ralph pulls up and he's talking crazy, but he's saying that, hey, man, I'm earning with 3 hands. You know what I mean? Like, and he starts talking crazy about these ideas about Tony. And he's like, hey, if you want to commit suicide, pills are easier. You ain't going to talk that way with me. They go back and forth about the whole scenario. And Johnny Sack brings up, where it started. It started with that woman. What did y'all think about this scene? Spike, I throw it in your court first because I love this scene because we big fans of Johnny Sack over here. So,
facts. That's probably one of my favorite characters. What did you said what I think about the scene, or did you add something specific? I'm sorry.
Oh, just what you think about this scene, like because there's a lot of different parts to it, like the radio thing, turning it off real quick when she got out there.
Yeah, I was trying to see what the radio was talking about, like something in Texas 2 years ago with Turkey or something crazy is what the subtitle says. So I'm not sure about that. But the biggest takeaway that I had from this is the reason that Tony didn't want Johnny Sack to have a house in New Jersey. Like, you got to go through more if you're going to pull up and get counseling from Johnny Sack if he's based in New York. You got to go over tolls and bridges. It's a nice little drive probably. If you right here in the hood, I got to worry about my people coming to pull up on you using your knowledge against me. Not to say that Johnny Sack did anything incendiary or like put Tony in any position, but still the fact that you're here, it gives people the option to be able to do this. And I don't want that to happen. That was the issue with him buying the house over here. But I love his counsel here. Like he guiding Ralph in the right direction, and he kind of trying to get something out of it for him too. It seems like in a longer play. But he, just like y'all said with Seal, he laid it out like, nigga, this is what's going on. This is what's gonna have to happen. So
That was the main point I would have made, Spike. You hit it on the head. Just that's why I'm here. Even though Johnny Sacks said, well, that's why Tony doesn't want Johnny there, and that's why Johnny's there for moments like this, so he can take advantage and look out for himself. Because he's not. It's not one of those situations where Johnny's there to look out or spy for the Sopranos. I think it's more so Johnny's there to look out for himself.
Yep. I
don't have the watchful eye of Carmine here with me. He can't see my every move. I don't have to report everything. I can start making a couple plays, be a consigliere, all of that stuff. And like you said, he let him know exactly what time it was. Like, you're not going to talk crazy in the crib. You messed up. He pretty much reminded Ralph, like, I don't care if you think you're right or not. This is the position you hold. That's the boss. You don't turn down no drink. What you think you did wrong? Like, let other people talk about that for you. For you to keep earning, your best position is to keep, to play nice with the boss. That's just the role you are in.
You better start acting like Junior was with Kennedy.
Yeah, man. And I love just how cool and like, this is like some boss shit. There's a lot of boss moments in this episode.
Yeah.
Johnny Sacks has one of them. Just the way he in that lawn chair smoking that cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
Legs crossed.
Nobody smoke cool as Johnny Sacks.
He just up here listening, just so.
Johnny Sacks, he a real G.
Bro.
He a real G. He that jacket smooth, gets up, takes a walk with him.
Bro, in my big old
suede
acres,
jacket.
I mean, nobody smoke cool like Johnny Sack. Like,
Well,
I mean, he looks so cool
November,
with I mean, it's like, it's beautiful. You got the fall backdrop with the colored leaves. It looks so great where he at. But yeah, it's this interesting trait. I can't quite put my finger on it as far as trying to figure out what this trait is with Johnny Sack. But I feel like there's this trait with him and women. I mean, we know he doesn't have Gumars. There's something later down in the series where he has a real problem about like some like bachelor party or something, and like kind of the behaviors and how he finds certain things disgusting. And so when he brings up the woman and tells him like, you were out of line first for doing that, one, she hit me, and two, she's a whore, but he's not going for it. So this goes back to that childish behavior. He's trying to make excuses like kids do with a parent. He's making all these excuses. She shouldn't have did this. She shouldn't have did that. And plus, and then Johnny not going. Then he says, well, she's pregnant and it wasn't mine. Actually, that made it worse for him. He looking at him like, oh, really? Then he finally says, all right, it was a Coke. I've been doing Coke heavy. And it's like, all right, yeah, let's get to the real issue. Like, Johnny Sack didn't let up at all. Like, Ralph has been riding the wave of everybody feels sorry for me because he hit me. Like, but Johnny Sack knew, nah, bro. Nah, that ain't how it's going. So it's so crazy where their relationship goes looking at this moment. It's just, it always gets me. I'm like, man, every time I'm like, wow, but y'all absolutely right. Johnny Sack being here, kind of being like the whisperer.
He laid out he gave him his options. It's the same thing Seal told Tony. Like, these are your options, man. Like, you started with this girl. You don't know nobody. Carmine don't know. You said, no, you can't switch families. So here's your options. It's pretty limited. Make this shit right with Tony. That's pretty much it. Keep earning. Maybe there'll be another chance in the future, or maybe I can sit down with Tony and kind of parlay this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Johnny, it's hard to be a leader of men.
It is, and he just got that trait. Like, even as Ralph goes through all the things that it was, oh, she's a whore, or it wasn't my baby. Johnny didn't say shit.
Nothing.
He's just looking at him like, go on and get to the issue. This, that, and the third. And he gave him one more look. Like, he just pulled it all out of him. Like, well, listen, man, I ain't even gonna bull it. Then Johnny finally hit him. Listen, I ain't even gonna bullshit you, bro.
Yeah,
this is what you got to do. I don't give a fuck about none of that because none of it made sense to me.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what you need to do.
Tony, I'm sorry. Like, I don't give a fuck what you saying.
None of that. None of that matters.
Saying right now, Tony, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
His delivery, like, he bodied this scene, man.
Every time. Every time, man. Yeah, I love it. I think that's all I have for that. Yeah. Tony and Johnny Sack, they meet. Johnny Sack makes a play here about the interaction with Ralph. I wanted to ask, what is the play that Johnny Sack is playing here?
I smoothed this over for you to get a bump up. You owe me. Now I'm your guy.
A favor.
Yeah, now you owe me. Like, big time owe me.
Yeah, you got people
So
like
yeah,
Hesh who ain't even a part of this thing are talking, pulling up on you, asking you about this. This is a big problem for you. Let me
Yeah.
straighten this out for you. Down the line, you get me.
Okay.
and we see what he's setting up down the line too. We see what the play was, what he was trying to do.
Oh, this is for that
This
play?
this is for him building the strength up to be able to do that. I need you. I need you to trust me this much. Because when I come to you with that, like this is the whole reason that he
He
wants
been
to
playing.
be
He been. Oh
facts.
man.
You've been
Oh
thinking
man.
what's your favorite line, Richmond? You've been thinking
Bro,
about
you
this.
play,
Nigga, I've been
Yeah.
thinking about this all week.
Nah, this
Yeah.
all month right here. Like this
You
is
playing
this
this
is
all
all
day.
month.
I'm playing this all
This
week.
is a very small seed to that bigger
Wow.
play later on. Is where he's trying to obtain his power. Another seed was him moving out there. Like he know
That's
what
what I
he
was
needed
just
to
about
do.
to.
Yeah, he knew what
Wow.
he needed to do to get the wheels in motion because he had that in his sights. I'm trying to be the boss, nigga.
Yo, that's crazy. I never seen
Yeah.
it. Wow, this man Johnny Sack is different.
Make you like Johnny Sack even
Oh
more, right?
man,
Yeah,
you've been
that
planning
nigga,
this
boy.
like oh.
Yeah,
Johnny
G,
Sack
man.
was that nigga, man.
Dang,
He
I
had to
never.
separate. He knew he had to go to Jersey so he can do his thing. It's
Yeah.
like it's almost like
Wow.
when it's like when Avon went to jail. Stringer knew this is my chance to run shit the way I want to run it.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't
I'm
never
not under
catch
the
that.
watchful eye anymore. I can set up my own future plays. Stringer's plays was just fucked up, but same kind of difference.
Same thing.
Johnny a genius, bro.
Yeah, that was G. I never
Thanks.
put that together, bro. I thought it was some recent disgruntles at that point, but now you're saying it. When you go back to like memories, like man, pick up the phone. Like when you was talking to him crazy, yeah, Carmine. It's like man, pick up the phone, dude. Like yeah. But I thought about Tony has such a reach that now the narrative is kind of spun. Now it's like, nah, he need to apologize to me. So it's like it starts off one way, and Johnny Sack says make him capo, and he was like, man, it's not happening. He's like, I threw cold water on it, the whole idea when he brought
I
it
love
up.
that line.
Like I threw cold
Brought
water.
that up.
on
I threw
it.
cold water
No,
on it.
like
I love that line.
Johnny
You know
is
what?
a
You're
weasel.
right. You're right. Y'all back through. I got that out of it.
Yeah, he's a weasel, bro. Like right here, he's so weaselly right here.
I thought the same thing when he said it. I just telling you what he said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Tony says what we always thinking. I thought you said you wasn't going to stick your beak in. Like,
And
bro.
Johnny being smooth as hell. Can't two friends talk?
Friends talk.
Yeah,
What we doing right
We
here?
go back.
We
bro,
doing
he
the same
trying it
thing,
so
right?
much, bro. He's like, yeah.
Man, I love Johnny Sack, bro.
I do too, man. He makes things so interesting. Johnny calls Ralph. He tells Ralph that Tony is splendid to see him, and basically he lies about the whole thing, how everything went. Like he's selling him on. There's an idea that Tony's got something for you, and you just need to apologize and do this and do that. But I did want to call out this decor right here. This is a nice little kitchen for 2001 right here. This got it's a nice little look right there. Anything y'all get from this small interaction? Of course, Jackie Jr. walks in. He said, if you need more X, got you, whatever. Anything y'all get from this smaller scene of the phone call?
There's a Jackie making noise out here in these streets. Richie done heard. Excuse me, damn. He done heard the Jackie getting it in, getting X moving. So this whole episode is about how shit travels through their community. Like we just pick up with every scene where somebody done told me something. And it ain't never even a direct, like they ain't figure it out directly. It's like, oh, such and such mention this damn near every scene in this episode.
Yeah, Johnny Sack, he about to take a bath, man. This man is like, this man about to take a bath, bro. Like he on
middle of the day, bro.
Middle
like
of
this
the
nigga
day.
wasn't the nighttime.
Bro, we can't even imagine. Like this concept is like, bro, you a really boss. Like he got the gold, gold trimmed in it. It's like, bro, I'm about to enjoy myself. I don't know what it is with Johnny Sack in bathrooms and phone calls. I don't know. Maybe there's something about Reddit about what is it. I don't know if it's a privacy thing, what it is, but there's something about him with phone calls and bathrooms. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like he offered some X. If you need any more, I got you. Then he just kind of gets this last little jab off, like basically Tony weak because he had Carm call your mom to not let us go there. Like I was going anyway type deal. And
that's so you said it, his childish, behavior, Mo. The fact that you feel that you gotta explain yourself to Jackie Jr.
Jackie, all right.
And why are you even bringing that up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, he's probably the most honest with the youth and kids. That's probably where Ralph will be the most honest.
But even then, like, you don't have to explain yourself.
No,
like,
exactly.
It makes you look crazy. Like, why are you? If I'm jacking, I'm like, okay, man, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
That's y'all shit. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you feel like you got to tell me and cover face. I know what it was.
Yeah.
I went over the crib. I saw everybody over there. I know what happened. You know, I was in the dining room on Thanksgiving night.
Boy,
I got offered a turkey sandwich.
I pulled up, right.
You know what I mean? You did it, nigga. I know what time it is.
I got offered it. Yeah, that's
you gotta say a lot of me.
That is funny. We get Melfi in a therapy scene. Again, top tier on the look. But she's voicing her feelings with Elliot. She just basically feels like I'm not being heard. I'm not being felt. I'm hearing everybody's feelings and emotions, but I was raped. I was physically, sexually assaulted, but I got to hear people cry about lesser things. And then finally, you know, Elliot kind of does something really smart here. He acknowledges what's going on and understand that it can't be easy for you to do what you're doing. And it seemed like that's just what she needed here. What did y'all get from this scene?
There's something I want to point out real quick, Mo. This scene is why you can't have Tony walk Melfi to the car. Melfi fucked up one time and mentioned his name, and now Elliot's comfortable enough to say, what about Patient Soprano?
Yes.
And bringing that up as a whole thing and making it that kind of comfortable thing. Like the line and the boundary has been crossed, and there's really no going back from it.
Mm-hmm. It's a good pull.
Yeah, she shouldn't, but I would never even shared that with her. But I mean, obviously, she's, you know, she's not.
That's her therapy. That's her therapy. She got it.
That's why I was gonna say.
Out.
Yeah, like, you know, it's like, I mean, but you got the right to say I don't want to talk about that. Like, you ain't got to lie. I mean, you ain't got to lie, of course, because you therapy's built on truth. But you can say I don't want to talk about that. You know what I mean?
No, it's just the point that line was crossed. Now he feels comfortable. You can say you don't want to talk about it, but the fact that he even feels comfortable enough to bring it up in that manner.
Yeah, I did not like it.
So direct about it. That's where all it takes is that one time to where you think, all right, this is now a safe place for us to explore.
And I'll tell you this.
Now Tony think he can walk me down to my car every session. Maybe he switches appointments to 7:00 just to get that extra time to walk me to my shit. Like, you know, it's just that whole thing.
Yeah, I get that. And I really don't like the fact that Melfi's like, her feelings are valid, but at the same time, nobody told you to come back to work that quick, bro. Like, nobody told you to come back to work. You would have been good. Your husband would have had things taken care of from a financial standpoint if you needed to. If you needed to refer people to other patients at the time, bro, you dealt with something so traumatic. Nobody told you to come back to work that fast. So it's kind of that, whoa, it's me, and her feelings are valid, but it's on you to take the time you need to heal. Like, you're coming back trying to help people heal, and you ain't healed. So you're crying about things that you could have.
Mo, you crossing the yellow line, bro. You going left to center right now, man.
Let me explain it a little bit more. Let me explain it a little bit more.
Going down the dangerous path.
No, let me explain for those that feel like, oh, here you go. What happened to her was a tragedy. It was awful. It's unfortunate to see when that happens to anybody, specifically women. So that's a horrible thing. So what I'm saying is, because of the level of how horrible it is, I think you need to take as much time as physically possible before returning back to work, and especially your line of work being people. You have to actually deal with people and their emotions. I think it's very unhealthy to come back to work as soon as she did and start dealing with other people's emotions before actually dealing with her own. So I'm saying I wish Melfi would have took more time to deal with those feelings first before you're being open to hear others. I think that she returned too soon, and you get moments like these. Of course, Melfi is brilliant and she's able to do this, but she just needs a moment to be heard. But I still think the healthier route for her and the better route would have been taking more time off. But we see she still came back right after the injuries. So that's what I'm voicing.
She would have told you that this helps her keep her mind off of it.
But she knows, but she's a therapist. She know that ain't healthy.
But that's how she
compartmental. But that's compartmentalizing.
I think her other option was, as you said, sitting at home thinking about it all the time. I'm sure she would rather deal with these people's problems, even though it pisses her off, and even though she got a vent to Elliot, I'm sure she would rather have that on her mind than what happened to her. I think that's what she's displaying there. Like, even though, like, it is, like I said, the unfortunate tragic event that happened with her, and she's voicing her like disdain with what's going on now. She would much rather have that than deal with the thoughts of the other thing consistently.
And overall, I think the whole scene just shows that she is still processing it and learning how to deal with it. Everybody, I said it earlier, like deals with trauma and those type of things differently. I get what you're saying, Mo. It sounds much better when you say you think that she should have took more time to herself versus it's her fault for going back to work too soon. I think the way you said it is a lot better than that.
Well,
because it's not.
I'm not victim blaming. Like,
I know,
that's how it's
but
coming off.
I know. That's why I said when you said it that way, it makes a lot more sense of what you're saying. You wanted to see Melfi in her best state.
Yes.
I guess the only thing I can say to that is really, how do you know? You never really know.
Yeah, you're right.
You got to get back in there. It's like boxing sometimes, man. You got to get in there and take that first punch. Football, you got to have that first hit to kind of loosen the nerves a little bit. So I think this is it's expected almost to go through something like that, and you still feel like a victim because you are. Like, and I don't have this same luxury, even though I have it with Elliot. Her and Elliot is like a business relationship, you know. The same way that her patients look at her therapy sessions. And she wants to tell family and friends. She wants to tell these people, like, it's got to be hard to listen to other people's bullshit when you know I went through something so much more traumatic than anything you talking about. Anything you talking about. And I got to sit here and act like you saying crying about it and moping. I'm the one that's coming to work. To your point, Mo, I'm the one that's coming to work and making sure you tight when I need that same type of love. So I think all of it is just mixed up, jumbled up confusion.
Yeah.
She's trying to figure it out in real time. She just wants to be heard, man.
Yeah.
She's just trying to figure out how it works.
I wish she just would have took more time off and kept going to therapy. So just being heard first before being willing to hear others now. That's all. I just wish she would have continued therapy with Elliot and just keep kind of trying to figure out how to deal and process what all that happened on Employee of the Month. And then at that point, after so much time off, coming back and being ready to hear other people and like having that refreshing feeling, at least, that she's back to her practice. But I get it. Everybody processes differently. And I think, Spike, you're right. I mean, she probably want to get her mind off of it because it's so tragic and trash that he got off from a little detail that the police messed up. The justice system is messed up. So that's all. That's just my opinion on it. But I mean, it is what it is. If y'all want to cancel me, whatever. Like, I'm not victim blaming. Just hear what I'm saying.
No. Yeah, that's what you're not. I'm saying.
I'm talking about the listeners, like whoever's listening, like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know, if y'all, whatever, like, you know.
You can't take that stance, bro. You gotta chill.
Bro.
You can't just say you want to cancel, we cancel. I feel what you say.
Yeah, but because it's like, if you listen to what I'm saying, some people still be like, but he still should have said, it's like.
I think you explained yourself very well.
That's
Once
what
you
I'm
got into it, you explained yourself very well. I think everybody, if everybody's listening, I think they understand exactly what you meant.
Yeah.
It did start a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I guess I needed to have the therapy way of saying the same thing I was just saying before. But yes, I agree. Ralph meets with Tony at Vesuvio's, and we got the two toughest, moxiest guys at the door, Paulie and Christopher. And he walks in, and oh man, do I love this scene. He comes in, Tony doesn't offer him a seat. Tony doesn't really say a word. And Ralph is trying to do this power thing he keeps trying to do, like turning down the drink right here. And there's another scene he's going to try to take the power away from Tony, but it doesn't work. So he's sitting there like, I'm trying to get Tony to speak up. And Tony's still looking at him like, no, you came to see me. He basically apologizes over and over, and he says he was on the coke. And Tony keeps getting him to be more specific about what are you apologizing for disrespecting the being. What else? The girl. What else? You know what I mean? So I really love this scene. Is there any details or anything specifically I like about it, or is it kind of all the same?
I wish that I just wish that there was a moment to cross-reference scenes and shows. Like, I wish he would have ended the scene the same way Jerome told Leon, you know, get the fuck out of here, little nigga. Take that dumb shit with you. Like, I wish that's all he need. That's the only thing that was missing from this scene. Yeah. The way he little man Ralphie. And you got to think, Ralphie thought from talking to Johnny that this shit was already set up.
Boy,
it goes back to
you ain't family. Sorry.
Nah, yeah. It goes back to the idea that the boss does what he wants. And Tony can get away with it because you can always come back and kind of flip it. Like I owed you that. You know what I mean? We can come back later and have a conversation, but I owe you this moment to let you know what time it is. Look at the setting, the restaurant alone. You think of Italian and mobs, you think about the Italian restaurant, a lot of meetings go down. It got the place emptied out, sitting in the middle of the restaurant, got the meal with them, got the wine with them. They don't get more boss than that. You got this man coming to apologize. Now, apologize for what? And you ain't got shit to say with him. You continue eating, look at him. Anything else? Nah. And with Ralphie expecting something in return from that apology and having to walk out of there like that, it was beautiful. Chef's kiss.
Yes. Make him say it too. And now you apologize for what?
Yeah, for what?
And like you said, the expression, like that James Gandolfini bodied this absolutely.
Killed it, man.
Great scene.
Oh, the many faces of Tony Soprano. Like he had so many different, like, you know. We get a short scene. Gigi and the crew. He brings turkey sandwiches. And he talks about his bowel movement being messed up when he eats the turkey sandwiches, and he's still carrying on the stress. That's kind of the scene. They're just, you know, shooting a load or whatever, kicking it or whatever. Anything I get from that small scene, and we can keep moving.
No, just pretty much it.
Is it?
Yeah, foreshadowing.
Okay. Yeah. Johnny Sack watching TV about the Esplanade again. Ralphie comes over and complains about Tony giving him not giving him anything, and he pretty much like, "Hey, look, bro, I don't care no more. Like this is what's about to happen. Like he's really talking that talk like he's gonna do something that he's gonna regret." What did y'all think about him pulling up? We get a lot of Johnny Sack shots in his house. We got the tub, we got the outside, we got him at the dinner table. What a beautiful home, man! Like they did that. What did y'all think about this scene?
I like how they're showing Johnny Sack's a boss up. Like we hearing it on TV. Like even when he said, "This is all you guys do over here," when they was talking about his wife, that was the beginning of when they broke ground on the espionage shit, whatever the name of it is, the whatever.
Esplanade.
But it shows how much investment Johnny Sack had in there, how much he was getting to make, and without even saying it directly on the screen anywhere. And then you see him boss up as this stuff starts to develop out, and we're hearing it on the TV. Like he said, they're gonna have to use bulldozers to get the money out of it that they're gonna make from it. So I love how they paint the picture with that. Other than the Ralph thing, he don't got the Richie problem. Johnny Sack don't got the Richie problem. He can sell anything. This didn't even happen, and I sold it to you and made you go look like a fool because I needed this handle. Like Johnny Sack is 10 out of 10.
That's crazy. I made you go apologize.
I sold it that much, nigga.
Oh, nonchalant about this shit too.
Yeah,
like posture. It's part of the game. You might just sit down. Okay, that's what he's supposed to do. All right, whatever.
Right.
And still checking.
He got you to do something that Tony couldn't get you to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Tony
part of the game.
Like, fuck you crazy coming in here talking to me like that?
Bro.
It's my house, nigga. What's wrong with you?
Bro.
I just got out of the bathtub.
You don't bring that. That's a big thing, man. Remember, there was I think I brought this up before. There was a scene with Tony and Johnny Johnny Sack. When Johnny said something, Johnny was frustrated and said something to Tony, and Tony told him, like, you shouldn't be telling me this.
You should not be telling me
like,
this.
There's certain things you don't say. To Paulie's point about Paulie being a real gangster, he said that shit to Paulie. Paulie taking him out right there. What the fuck is wrong with you making threats against the boss?
Yep.
Straight up. Like, yeah, I mean, that is crazy. It's like, oh, man, he didn't even offer me money. Oh, he didn't? Oh, okay. My bad.
Oh, yeah, all right.
My bad.
Got him. Right? Like, we got him.
Boy, that was just such. I didn't catch that. That was a great pull on y'all end, man. I didn't even think about it. Like, I got you to apologize, so it makes y'all family look better. Ooh, yeah, that's good.
I can come in here and run this whole shit, man.
Easy. I don't have to stick my beak in. I just stick a claw in, bro. Like easily. But Gigi, we get a moment. Another foreshadowing. Gigi's on the toilet. He's struggling. Looking at a magazine, and that's pretty much that scene. Junior's watching TV. Tony walks in. He tells him close the door, which I never understand when people just walk in the house in TV shows and don't close the door. I don't know if they were trying to make fun of that here, but I never understand when people do that. He comes in, and again, another question about what's going on, and Junior tells him the same thing he told him at whose funeral was that early in the season? His mom's funeral, I think. Yeah, Olivia's funeral. He told him then, like, I don't think Gigi should be captain. It should be Ralph. And so it's brought back here again. and they talk about how hot it is in the house, and so he gives him advice, and I actually think Junior gives good advice. I mean, he kind of forced him to ask, but Tony gives him that because he's not that significant at this point from a mob family standpoint. What did y'all think about this thing?
It keeps planting these seeds that we always wonder. What I said earlier in one of the episodes, you never really know if Junior faking or if it's for real. Because like he said, it's hot as the Amazon jungle. Ain't nobody just gonna sit in no sauna.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he still has those moments where he got all his senses and he can give Tony good advice. They play such a fine line of us trying to figure out like how much capacity does Junior have as far as still being in the right mental state, and how much is like he got Alzheimer's and he fucked up. So
what say you, Rich?
I love the fact that it just shows that relationship between current generation, older generation. To your point, he had to force Tony to ask him if he was going to ask him for his opinion. You have this resource and this knowledge right there. That is a good point too. Spike show does a great job with that, man. We'll talk about it more as the season go on about what Junior really has going on. But Junior gave some honest and sound advice. Like, there is no advice. This is what it's like being number one. This is what it's about. You have to make the decision that's best for everyone. I can give you the pros of everybody. I can give you the cons of everybody. But at the end of the day, you have to make your decision. You have to stand by it. He told them they don't trust him. They undermine him. Gigi, Ralph already talking shit about Gigi to the crew. Like this, these are all these are all things you have to factor in. And it's not an easy decision. Nobody wants to make it, but you have to. That's your job. So yeah, I can give you advice, but it ain't gonna give you no answer. There's a difference between advice and an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. He says sometimes there is no answer. You just steer the ship the best way you can. This is one of the best quotes in the whole series to me, because it really touches me in a way where it's like sometimes that's just how it is. You just steer the ship the best way you can. There's not always the good thing, the bad thing, the right thing, the wrong thing in every scenario. Sometimes you're just trying to figure it out. Sometimes you're just trying to steer the ship the best way you can. So even though he kind of forced him into like the advice, I think it was definitely needed, because that was the overarching thing that he needed to make his final decision, along with some events that are happening next. And speaking of events that are happening next, Gigi and the crew, they're still waiting on Gigi to come out the bathroom. Vito has to use the bathroom, and so he's knocking on the door, and Eugene gets up and he kicks the door down, and it looks like Gigi's asleep on the toilet. No, he's not asleep. He is out of here. My question to you all is, was he whacked by the turkey sandwiches or his bowel movement?
Both. Like spackle in his bowels.
Spackle in his bowels.
You know what spackle is, right?
No, what's spackle? Blood?
They use it to paste walls. So like when you put in drywall, like you say, you punch a hole in the wall and you got to repair it. You would use spackle to repair the hole. You put that over the hole, it hardens and it covers up the hole. So that's what he meant when he said that. I had a question for y'all. Was there some foreshadowing?
Oh, I know where you're going.
You seen it too?
Oh,
did they do that on purpose?
I don't know, but boy, I
think they did, man.
Bro,
I think they did.
Listen. The fact that all three of us thought it might answer the question.
I think they did that on purpose, man. Because they zoomed out. There's no need for that wide shot. No. There was no need for that other than to give us a clue.
Yeah, and what's crazy is we're not even saying it, but everybody that's listening knows.
Everybody that know.
Exactly. I think the fact that we know when we're saying it, I don't know how much of that has to. Yeah, it's hard to ignore it.
Yeah, I think this was definitely a clue.
We're talking about catching, not pitching. So everybody kind of put that together. But
let's just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at
left unsaid because we'll get to it.
Oh yeah, but before we leave that, there is an ad. Thanksgiving is coming up soon, and you want to fill your stomachs, but that damn turkey backs you up for days. Well, we have the perfect product, Triple S, Sopranos stool softener. When you're backed up and you think you're entitled, but your stomach doesn't agree, go online now and order Triple S, Sopranos stool softener, where Gigi in our book is good going. No problem in that department. Triple S. And tell them Good Earners sent you. Sopranos stool softener. And that is the end of this scene. They literally pan to Gigi's funeral.
Yeah, they got that done quick.
First time y'all watched this, how surprised were y'all at this when that happened? Like Gigi
First
dying
time.
on the toilet.
I don't think I had I think the show did what it was supposed to do with the character of Gigi.
Yeah.
It didn't give me enough to make me feel any kind of way. Like, oh shit, Gigi gone. That's crazy.
Right.
You know
It
what I
really
mean?
didn't.
Like
It wasn't a big deal other than
Right.
okay, what happens to that crew now?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
it was a very big surprise to me because I just never seen, like, they were putting all that focus on it. It was like, oh, like, you know, we never seen, people haven't really died on here from a wacky way at this point. You know, that was kind of one of the really wacky, you know, ways. But they say that he actually had heart disease, which was scary, you know, and they said that's how Elvis died. And they asked Tony who's going to replace him. And he look at everybody. We see Vito, Eugene, some other guy, and then we see Ralph. And Ralph looks the most together out of the choices. And so obviously the decision made itself. It's crazy like how that works. Like the decision made itself. Like I'm sure there's some theories. Like I think people had theories on like Ralph had something to do with Gigi dying. I don't know. I don't have it on hand. We'll do episodes later down the road after series of like different theories. But nonetheless, that's that scene. Anything else y'all want to add to the funeral scene?
Just how quick life got to keep going on. We at this man's funeral. They ain't even closed the casket yet, and I'm already got sit. People already asking me about what I'm gonna do with the crew and who's in charge. Like this shit don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Yeah, man. That's
a dipshit crew right there, boy.
That's a dipshit. Whole lot of poo putts.
Whole lot of poo putts.
Boy, lackeys. Tony and Artie, they're about to have a sip, and Tony. Artie, he has a little bit of memory of Gigi. Gigi used to come there with his kids, his family. That was a normal. He had no problem with the guy. He seemed like a cool dude. Artie's drunk again. We find out that's a lot of his moments that are coming. It's like just these little subtle drunk moments. I definitely think a lot of it has to do with the Charmaine separation right now, and then of course he's still trying to get over Adriana, but because he was in love with her. But
getting over Adriana's nuts. when that ain't your girl.
Bro,
right?
Never was your girl,
right?
She worked for you.
I love your girl. I love your girl.
Niggas is nasty, man.
Nasty work. So, Ralph comes in and he sits down this time. So Tony gives him that level of respect. Now he has to sit down, you know. And he tells Ralphie pretty much, "I'm making you captain." He's excited. He's into it. He's all into it. Then he says, "I need to hear you say it, that it's off my merit." Bro, I'm never saying it. How about that? Just be happy to be here. And he asks him for a drink. Tony takes his drink and he leaves. What did y'all think about this scene?
I still don't fuck with you. Through circumstances, things have worked out in your favor. Congratulations to you. I still don't fuck with you.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I hate your guts. Like you stink, and it's like it's crazy. It's like, bro, I got to move you up, and we got to deal with each other directly. But in some way, you still need to know. You know, the only reason you're here is this. Like, man.
It also says a ton about Ralphie, man. Like, you can't take the win. Just take the win, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Don't matter why.
You like the kid.
Never mind your why.
That part.
Like to what Mo says.
Never mind your why. Shit don't matter. Just know you here, take your position, and keep it moving.
Do it right. But it's like a kid, like Mo said. Like the kid got to tease you when they win, or like like I gotta know. Give me just take the win and move on, bro. Don't ask no more questions.
Yeah, he's looking for that approval, like a parent, like a kid with a parent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I know I need to know I earned this, and this is not a participation trophy. You know,
yeah.
So it's again that childish Ralph, the childish one. You know, Jackie Jr. and Dino, they're playing pool, and Meadows there. I don't know where this spot is because I mean clearly Meadows under 21, but she's drinking a martini.
It's the early 2000s, bro. Yeah, man. You can do
in Jersey, and her dad is like the boss.
All right.
I'm sure they in Jersey, and I'm sure that People know who they are.
Okay. But Dino asked like, "Yo, you smashed her yet?" He's just like, "Bro, she creaming for
Hold
me."
on, hold on, hold on. I'm sorry.
Before you get the,
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Go.
Talk about the first thing Dino asked.
Okay. What do you ask?
that's what I was about to say too. I want to
Let me
address
see.
that too. He asked him,
Oh,
what's
the
this I hear
word.
about Tony and Ralph
So-
Cifaretto having a fight?
Mhm.
Right.
To me, it shows a couple things there. Well, the main thing is how disconnected but connected they think they are.
Mhm.
Like how news travels so fast in the circle of people who are in the end, but people on the out, like Dino and Jackie, he just now getting to ask Jackie about the fight. Everybody else, the situation is resolved now.
Mhm.
You asking about what started or something.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's not even your business. It's not even something you should be approaching. You shouldn't be comfortable approaching me about that. And Jackie is adjacent. He ain't a part of it. And we see this with Jackie in the next couple of episodes, him playing gangster
Mhm.
and trying to do all this stuff. But that's not really what he's about. He enjoys it. He enjoys it. Yeah, I was there. I noticed. I know what happened. Blah, blah, blah. Like, come on.
I
Man.
was
Y'all-
there.
This new generation. This
Yeah,
new
that's
generation.
exactly where I was going.
Y'all out here wilding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you getting So, but yeah, it goes back to like I said, and then Dino asking about like, "Yo, you tapped that yet?" And he's just like, "Nah, she ready, she want it, but he's like, bro, you ain't did nothing." And
Yeah,
so
Sleazeball, man. Nigga try to avoid even answering the question, trying to make it look like he fucked.
that's how it was though. Like that's
like, man, nigga, shut up.
bro. That is how it was though. Like that, if that ain't so 2000s, where it's like you're embellishing crazy right now. Like, bro, anytime I want to. Like she ready. Like you just putting. How many of us you put stupid lies on? Like, bro, she don't even know you're interested in that way yet, and we just lying like a mug. Like, yeah, bro, I'm going over there this Friday. Like you just making up. Like it's so accurate. It's so accurate. That's what I will say. I always wonder how much older is Jackie Jr. over Meadow? Maybe a year or two, maybe. Like I don't
say about 2 years. I say Jackie like 21, Metal 19, somewhere
Okay.
around there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that seems about right. But Meadow's ready to get out, and she's drunk, and he's like, "Bro, chill out. We'll leave in a moment." Meadow does this dumb thing of getting in the car and tries to go leave like she's playing a game with this dude, and she ends up crashing the car. Jackie comforts her, and he notices kind of working, and I think that's where he starts to tap into. Oh, this is my Noah-ism right here. This is where I need to.
Now she basically put it on herself. Now she owe that nigga some.
oh, there it is. Thank you. Now you just can't.
I had to up.
There you go. He went up. Y'all want to get on me? There you go. Where y'all gonna get this type of content?
She felt guilty at this point. Now she owe it to him. That's what I got from
Right.
him.
These
Jackie
are jokes, y'all.
sleazeball.
Please.
Yeah, this is a joke.
Yeah.
Jackie is sleazeball, man, but he knew when to cut it on. It finally hit him how to unlock. You know what I'm saying? What he was trying to get.
Yeah, get access. Yeah.
I don't know what I'd have done if you would have gotten hurt, man. Shut your young and the restless ass up, nigga.
Bro. And it worked. Like I know it worked, because then he realizes like that's it. I gotta do the emotional, and again, because he just don't have the patience to work a process. That's why we see what happens to him later down the road. He just don't have the patience.
This is so terrible, man. Like, yeah, man, you love that car. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna take you home. No, I want to go with you.
I want to go with you.
Ding, ding, ding.
Sure. Oh.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Hey, that you sure, man. That you sure was him asking it. We fucking, right?
Yeah, you know what's up.
Before you say you want to come with me.
Right.
That's what's happening when you come with me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jackie wild, man. He a wild dude.
He is. He said we'll just report the car stolen, but this car probably was stolen. That's what I was I think they were getting at, but
I'm thinking about that classic Soprano scene. Fucking niggers.
What? Yeah, every time, bro. That never gets old. Commendatory for those. Go check that scene out. We get the last scene. Well, last couple of scenes here, really. But Tony goes to Gloria's car lot, and Gloria is out there trying to sell a car, and Gloria is like fly from head to toe. Got the fur on, got the little neck. I don't even know what you call it, like neck accessory on. She's killing this scene. She looks like a boss. She looks like Tony's equal in this moment. Like, of course, we know how things will play later, but she really looks like Tony's equal. And we know that Later down the road, Tony will express how he feels about women that have their own thing going on, which I think speaks to how he felt about Melfi in the first seasons, other than the emotional breakthroughs, but like women that got something going for them. They already doing something. They're a boss in their own regard. So I think that's a part of the attraction, as well as obviously the physical attraction. Gloria is a beautiful woman. He wants to check out a car, go for a test ride. They're talking in sexual innuendos. They go for the ride. They basically, there was on Tony's boat, Stugatz. She calls and cancels her therapy session, and that's where we ended. What do y'all get from this very last scene?
How do you think that they were trying to paint Gloria? Do you think that
that's an interesting
they're
question.
painting her as naive, or do you think they painted her as an accomplice? Like she's just as guilty in this, like she's just as guilty as Tony is for pursuing her. Because it's one big clue that they continue to show that makes me think she was an accomplice. Like she wasn't a victim here.
Okay, give it to me.
In both scenes, they made it very clear, and it's very subtle. Like we was talking about the background stuff in the episode, so it lines up. They gave you the wide shot when they went to the therapy session, and it was a double booking, and they gave you the wide shot here. Both times, Tony's ring was very visible. He didn't remove his wedding ring. He wasn't trying to fool her. Like they made like each of those scenes, they show his hands very indirectly, and you see his wedding ring, boom, right there. She never asked about it. Are you divorced, or are y'all going through something? She just went with the flow.
Wow, what a pull!
That's a great point, because when you look, when I think about that, I think about the next few episodes, and it's not even. She never asked about. I mean, there's a moment when they're at the zoo, and there's something said, but other than that, there's no real direct answer. Or there's no plea to leave your family or none of that. It's kind of like that elephant in the room. Like, she with the shits. I know what time it is, and I'm cool with this. Part of her being as successful as she is, probably like have the cake and eat too. I'm like, I want this part of it. But I don't want to come home every day, that mundane, like, how was your day, fix dinner and shit like that. I want that shit when I want it. It's a little bit of a thrill.
Yeah.
Facts.
And I love Dr. Melfi's antennas, man. I love how sharp she is. This really comes out in the next episode. You know, they build on this final scene in the next episode. But her being able to hear that voice and that concern, and it always makes me wonder. We can talk deeper into it next week, but Melfi's stance on this is this how? What's the? Because I know the answer isn't only professional, but I want to know what the percentage is, professional versus personal.
Yeah,
feelings towards this whole thing going on.
That's a great question, and for me to just add to conclude, I really enjoy when Gloria. Every time I think about watching the whole series again. When we talk Gumars connected to Tony, I think Gloria is the one I enjoy the most. When we talk Nemesis with Tony, I'm still always back and forth between Ralph and Phil. So when I seen her, I was like, oh, here we are. Cause I try to watch it when we watch it. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So I just really enjoyed seeing her here. She's a very complex character, a character I enjoy seeing on screen. I really like her. She's been in some black cinema as well. So, but that is our episode. Before we get out of here, though, we like to leave with rankings. So I'm gonna throw the ball in your court to our varsity athlete number 1, Spike Lou. What do you rank this episode?
This is a made episode for me.
Oh,
very good episode.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Thorough. Just enough mob shit, family shit. It was a holiday episode, like you said. It tugs at those strings for you. This was a perfect episode to me.
Wow. Okay. What about you, Rich?
Man.
Uh-oh.
It's almost like I'm not, because I'm thinking like I wish there was like a tier between Made and Good Earner. Because it's right in that middle. I don't know which way to push it towards.
Yeah.
I will say this: there are too many, and this is what I do all the time. When I get in this type of spot, I think about the scenes, especially the iconic ones, and where they stand and how much they meant. And I started this episode by saying, this episode here starts a 5-episode stretch of Sopranos that's just incredible. Just an incredible stretch, like one of those first defining moment stretches for this show. You know what I mean? They've had classic episodes and classic scenes. I mean, I'm just talking about with 4 or 5 bangers in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I got to lean towards it being made because there's
Oh,
too much in here that plants the seeds for a lot of things that we're going to see that get wrapped up by the end of this season, that carry on in the next season. And just really shows the inner workings of how you deal with conflicts and how you deal with kind of strife while also combining that everyday life of it. We still got Thanksgiving, we still got family shit to tend to, the whole nine. It did a great job of weaving through all of that and showing what happens when division can, when you got to make the tough decision. What happens when I don't like the motherfucker I work with? What happens when the family ain't really your family?
You selling it, Rich. I'm right there too. I've been in between that, and I was like, man, I hope by the end of this I can figure it out. And I'm still like in that teetering space between made and a good earner.
I understand either way. Like, I understand why people call it a good earner. I understand why made.
I got to figure out why. If I'm not gonna make it made, what takes it away from that for me? That's kind of the challenge. Versus, it's like, did I want more Christopher? Is my bias coming out there? Is it?
I think the Johnny Sack scenes and the Seal scene alone, I think, are enough to push it to made, in my opinion.
Yeah.
On top of the Tony scene with Ralph, having him apologize, like all those are. I mean, my goodness.
I'll go made. I'll go made here. We're going trips. I think there was enough different vibrations here. Like, there was some funny moments we got to laugh about, with the family. I love the family aspect of it always. And then there's, somebody did get whacked, even though, I mean, they got whacked on their own condition, but they got out of there. So things definitely move. I love seeing Johnny Sack on screen. Ralph just having these different moments, just being a firecracker as he is, Jackie Jr. It's a lot there. We'll see where it ranks in all of the maids, but I think you're right. I think made is the better way to go.
I was just about to say, I think when you talk about made episodes, it's probably towards the lower tier, third tier.
Yeah.
And I think the reason we're even debating it is because the B plot type of stuff, the Jackie Meadow stuff, that's not that. There's much better Jackie stuff in these next couple of episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the fact that wasn't the strongest, the strong of the episode was very strong, and the weak wasn't that good. I don't want to call it weak because there's nothing really weak about it.
That's the B plot,
but just that side of it. So I think if you take away that and just focus on the strong, it's an obvious made episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of that stuff was just a little bit slow burning.
If we had a number of maids we can give each season, that would change everything. Like, if we say we only get 5 maids and then you had to pick and choose out of the 13 episodes, I think that would be like, okay, but we got that free flowing. So, but yeah, so we're going trips here. This may be our first, all 3 this season of all of us calling it a made episode. Spike Lee, who gets the Good Earner Award, man.
Well, have you fellas heard the good news?
I love that line. I don't know why. I love it.
Aaron for me, man. Aaron got
the good earner.
He got to eat at a mobster's house, bro. He slept on Tony's shoulder. Nigga got to sleep the whole day away. He got some of Carmela's cooking. Like, this man, like, he won one. He has no idea how much he won. Like, Ralphie was dying to get over Tony's house, and this man got to get in there and sleep on his shoulder. So Aaron won, man. Aaron won, and he got to get Jackie Jr. the good news.
Oh man, he got to get Jackie Jr. You are hilarious, bro.
Man,
I dig it. Aaron got the good other world, man. What about you, Rex? Who gets it for you, man?
Johnny Sacramone, man.
All right.
Johnny Sacramone get the Good Earner Award, man. He's making his presence felt. He's come in. Like I said, he's not setting up just plays for himself or for New York. He's setting them up for himself. He's already got some inside tracks on things. He knows he has Tony's ear, setting up those future plays. As Spike brilliantly pointed out, planting seeds for that. I'm in boss mode this whole episode. It was just incredible what he pulled off. Like you said, I'm fixing y'all problems for y'all. Like, that's how cold. That's how cold I am with this shit. Like, that's how New York gets shit done. This some New York. This y'all JV for real. Like,
this big boy gangster shit.
I respect y'all. I got love for y'all. Like I said, Jersey, the Sopranos in New York, we got ties that go back a long time, but y'all still JV. Y'all watch, y'all, you know what I'm saying? We watch y'all before we go into halftime and get ready for our game.
Y'all Jersey varsity.
I don't come from some glamorized crew. We do the real thing over
Yeah,
here.
man. Carmine always said the Sopranos are nothing more than a glorified crew.
Yep.
He's crazy. But that's good. I got it. I mean, it's low hanging fruit, but it's clear as day. Ralph Cifaretto. It's easy because you thought the joke was on me, but the joke is on you. And it's like because of natural causes, the joke's on you. Now you can't leave. Now I have to be your choice. So as much as I don't want to give it to Ralphie, I have to because it's like I did all that crying, I did all that pouting, I did all that apologizing, and I thought it was over for me. I looked bad, but then the joke's on you. Now you have to sit down with me and you got to make me capo. Even if it ain't the way I want it to be, you have to do it because I am the best choice. And so it's again, jokes on me. No, the joke's on you. You know, so I that's the only reason I have to give it to Ralph Cifaretto. Spike, who gets the Broken Balls Award for this episode?
Broken Balls Award for this. GG, man. Unfortunately, GG went out not like a G. Unfortunately, man. So I gotta give it to GG.
That's good, bro. That's good. This man cooking over here. That's good. Should have been a rapper. GG. That's a good one. Okay. All right. What about you, Rich? Who gets the Broken Balls Award?
Rosalie April. Rosalie April, man. Something that we really don't tap in too much or get to see a lot of. I know we had the conversation last week about Carmela earning it, but just that the job of being a mob boss's or mob member's wife or widow or whatever that works. How some bullshit that don't even concern you gets you disinvited from big events. You gets you that quickly. Who you associate with can determine whether you're in the in circle or not. And her having that lonely, sad, clown ass Thanksgiving when she could have been at the table cracking jokes, throwing walnuts at Aaron, and just having a good time. You know, they had the bottles out. Y'all know what it is, man. When the family get together, we done got the bottles out. With us, we done got the cards out or the dominoes.
Spades is going.
Shit. You know what I mean? We done had a good meal,
Yeah,
all types of stuff. The fact that you get to miss out on that because you aligned yourself with a dipshit. And you and Carm are actually friends. It's not like you were +1. You actually friends with this person, and now you can't be invited. Broken balls, man.
All right. I gotta go Janice Soprano, man. You look funny in the light, man. Like you were making big boss moves last season between taking care of Olivia, looking for the bag, and being engaged to Richie April with Mad Moxie and having strong ties and connections in the mob. And now you come home with Aaron that, unfortunately because of his condition, he can't stay awake to appreciate or even do the things that you necessarily need him to do. And he definitely can't go all night, unless you sleep. So it's like you missing out on it, and you just look funny. Like they're making jokes on your boyfriend, bro. Like they're throwing walnuts at this dude. They judging him off their shoulder. Like they're laughing at your dude. Like you look real funny in the light. So it's funny as Spike has him as the good earner. I have Janice as the broken balls. And lastly, before we get out of here, what is your favorite moment of this episode, Spike Lou? There's a lot of good moments here, obviously.
Johnny Sack in the backyard, putting the cigarette out, talking to school and Ralphie, like that. That's it. Or tell him you're sorry, like all of that.
That was big.
Tony, I'm sorry. Yeah. That was it.
All right. What about you, Rich?
A lot of great nominees. You got Junior and Tony. That's a great scene. You got Ralphie coming to apologize. That's a great scene. I'm with Spike. I'm going to take it. Came down between Johnny and Ralph or Seal and Tony.
Seal and Tony for me. Yep.
They both have the same characteristics, telling people exactly what it is. This is what it is. This is what you need to do. Like, fuck your feelings. Like, this is how we operate. This is the thing that we do. All right, it's time to move forward with this and keep shit rolling. I think Johnny just did it on a more boss level. As much as I love Sil sing with Tony, as much as I love that, everything about this from top to bottom, beginning to end, from action to cut, he was in his bag.
So you said Tony.
Like I say, even the way he out there smoking, John don't get up. Like he didn't get up. It's like, nigga, I'm not. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get up when it's time for me to get up. I'm gonna start walking. You gonna follow. Everything about it was masterful. Master at work.
So which one specifically were you referring to?
The same one the Spike mentioned.
Oh, same one?
The one where Ralph came over looking for counsel.
Okay.
He gets up out that lawn chair, start talking. Like you said, say, oh, Tony, I'm sorry. Like, this is how this works, bro. Like, I don't know what you thought this. I don't know what you thought coming over here, what you thought you were going to hear from me.
Okay. I'm going to kind of do a little cheat here. I'm going to tie in all of the Thanksgiving scenes at the Soprano house because I like her getting unbagging the stuff. I like when they were watching the football game, and I like when they were eating dinner that night. I know that's kind of a cheat for scenes, but I really like, I know I love that family stuff because it's like family. It ain't what it used to be these days. So it's like seeing that just kind of warms my heart, and it's cool. But I mean, a lot of great moments from Tony here this episode. I mean, any of those boss crazy moments, obviously Johnny as well. But I'm gonna go with those Thanksgiving scenes. This makes me almost want to revisit when Thanksgiving come up this year, low key. Like I'm like maybe I get in that space again. But
Surprised it wasn't a reverend, man.
I forgot about that.
One of your favorite scene.
Oh man, that's funny. That's a good one. But this
you gonna make him the profile picture with that Kente cloth hat. Make the profile picture.
Yo, having him with the all right, man. I ain't got time. But that is our episode, man. We surely appreciate y'all listening. Y'all want to find us elsewhere? We have all of those in the description. We are on YouTube. Y'all can watch us. We're doing great over there. People are subscribing. They're commenting. They're getting into it. So y'all can check us out on YouTube if you want to see the visual aesthetic. Each week, I do a different backdrop that is included in the show, putting us on the television, the ones to watch. Also, y'all can find us on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, all of your podcast apps. You can find us there. Good Earners. Y'all can also find us on Instagram, goodearnerpod_Sopranos, or even email us, goodearnerpod@gmail.com for questions, concerns, theories, thoughts, whatever. We welcome it all. We appreciate y'all listening. And remember, don't forget about it.